first. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. This hour is presented by Subaru of Gwinnett. You'll love the difference. The Morning Xtra, only on Xtra 106.3.
Morning, y'all. Tug and Los until 10 on Xtra 106.3. Appreciate you being here. It's chilly outside. We're going to warm you up with a good show for 4 hours. If you're a member of the 4-Hour Club, here's your hand salute to start.
It's like audio lovemaking. Like we're starting that snuggle. Right. We're here to warm you up.
That's right.
Tug has intense body heat. It's going to take care of you.
How you doing, girl?
Intense.
That's right. You know, it's funny. I like to snuggle with our little puppy at home because he is like a heater. He is an absolute
little radiator.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my wife usually sleeps hot. Like she'd be under the cover for a minute, but it's
I'm the same way.
Okay.
Yeah.
My
wife's same way. She bundles up, and I'm like, it's too much.
I'll pull the dog in next to me, me and him wrap up, and then he'll stay about, I don't know, 15 minutes maybe, and then all of a sudden, he is down at the bottom of the bed. You can hear him panting. He's like, because he's so hot to begin with, and then I've wrapped him up in the blankets.
I kick the dog out of the room every single night.
Your dog's much bigger though. He takes up the bed. Sure. Like I got a little mini schnauzer. Yeah.
She stretches out. She's a long dog.
She's so cool.
She does like the whole, lays on her back, stretches out both ways. I'm like, enough. I'm like, you're out of here. In fact, now I walk in the bedroom like I did after Monday Night Football. She gave me one look, and I just go out, and she took out the door.
Smart dog. Yeah.
Like, get out of here.
Dog. Yeah. Awesome. Get on out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like snuggling with the puppies. But again, my dog doesn't take up the entirety of the bed, so that makes it a mite easier. And then you got work to do today, dude. After work, you're getting to work.
Yes, that's true.
We're
doing a little bit of basement framing.
Yeah.
So hopefully getting to our point where once we started getting quotes, it turned into we can do this all in one fell swoop,
or
for 6 figures plus, or we can do it on our own, which is what we've been slowly but surely doing over like 4 or 5 months, and save 6 figures plus.
Makes perfect sense to me. You would never find me arguing that way of thinking, that method of thinking.
But it takes more time that way.
It does.
But that's fine.
Yeah, it totally
Not in any
is.
hurry.
And
I like Wayne's World down there. Pretty soon it won't be Wayne's World anymore. I'll actually have walls.
Yeah, right. Because that's the next step, right? As soon as you get the framing done, you'll
drywall. We have 4 small walls that we have to frame up.
And then will you get to drywall this week or no?
No.
Yeah,
no.
just the framing. Okay.
No,
well,
I got a couple little things here and there, but. I mean, all the electrical's in. Everything that we've been working on is in. So now it's just, all right, this last part. And all I was told by my father-in-law, who's helping us out with this because he's pretty handy with this stuff, he's like, well, what time are you getting home from work?
Yeah.
I was like, I'll leave as soon as I can.
Yeah.
He goes, there's a couple of these beams that are pretty heavy, so I'm going to need some help with this one. I'm like, okay.
I need a pack mule.
Yeah. I was like, that's what it sounds like to me.
I got to tote some of these things around. But yes, it'll be so worth it saving 6 figures. Get out of here. It's nuts how much things cost these days. And so anytime you have that help, it's good. And I think most people would go about it your way. Do it over a little bit of time. Save yourself a whole grip of money. Count me in for that. So the Epstein files. I wanted to point out something to people that, and I think folks may know this. I'm not positive, but I think folks may know this. I want you to know who's keeping those Epstein grand jury files out of public view. They have one specific thing in common. They were all appointed by Democrats. Then on top of that, you get the Democrats in the House blocking the release because they tried to take it to a vote on the floor. And, they know all about leverage because they use it at every opportunity. And this is the only leverage they have. This is the only thing that they can talk about. So I'll say Richard Berman, appointed by Bill Clinton, Paul Engelmeyer, appointed by Obama, and Robin Rosenberg, appointed by Barack Obama. Those are the three judges that keep blocking the files from being released. Goodness gracious. I'm so glad Trump's like, just do it. Just do it. As soon as it hits my desk, I'm signing it.
So we're going to have the issue of once this gets voted on, and I think the Democrats are now in a little bit of a vice grip. It's like, we've been asking for this for so long. It's like, yeah, don't know why you didn't do it in the previous administration. Oh, I think I have a pretty good idea why you didn't. So you have been a vice grip. They're now going to get stuck with a vote on the record. And we'll see who votes yes, who votes no. So then they have to answer questions about it. I fully expect the Democrats will still vote no matter what. All right, but at least if we're going to a vote, you've got the numbers in the House. You can just push it right through anyway. All right, then what are you going to get? If this does all get completed, you're going to get something that's heavily redacted, and then a bunch of people will start making their excuses off of that.
Yeah.
Like, this doesn't go away when it's the only thing you got. If I only got one football to play with,
yeah, that's the one I'm playing
this
with.
is my football.
That's right. And the redactions are going to be based on national security, because at this point, I think everybody agrees, everybody understands that dude was an intel asset.
The reason why he got away with some of the stuff the first time around in the early 2000s, and why the FBI was told to a certain extent or a lesser extent stand down, and also the local officials in Florida, it was, this guy's an asset. He's an intelligence asset.
Yep. And that's why a lot of the files, when they are released, if it gets to that, which Trump's already said, so
have at it. Go ahead, put it all out there.
Absolutely.
Let's see how many people it's going to burn down no matter what.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You get what you asked for.
Like, then you have people like Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and I thought this was pretty smart. He's like, I would wonder, he's like, I'm probably on the flight log. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, well, I ran into him with my wife, my kids, and he offered us a ride to where he was going, and we were going there, and so jumped on a private plane.
Yeah.
That is the sort of stuff where if those flight logs are ever made public, more so than just the stuff that's gotten out there where it's like, oh, it's got to be this person. Then each one of those people has to explain themselves.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, if I had to explain all these times you rode with Frank Duffy somewhere, I'd be like, those are all football games.
Yeah, that'd be pretty easy.
That's kind of what I did with Frank Duffy for a lot of years. Whenever he would offer, I'm like, yeah, I'll jump on the bus. Let's go.
For sure.
I want to go to the game. Let's go.
Absolutely. If I can get there quickly, get there easily.
If it turns out Frank runs a drug cartel, I might have a problem. But no.
Yeah, I know. Of course, you're kidding, but
that's a concept.
But would you even know that? I mean, that's what I'm saying.
He's
like,
Walter White.
Yeah, would you know?
I didn't know.
Yeah, that's my point. Did you know?
And so that's the point RFK Jr. was making, was I didn't know he was involved in all this. I just, hey, it's a plane, and there we go.
Yeah, I'm eager to just get it done and over with. I'm so tired of the. I brought this up a couple weeks ago, and then Mike Johnson, I think, brought it up last week. When Donald Trump calls it a hoax, he's not saying what happened to any person is a hoax. He knows what happened. Everybody knows what happened.
He's pointing out that it's some sort of major scandal for his administration.
Right. That's what the Democrats have been trying to paint. And it's not. He's told you that. It's anything in testimony has been shared. In books that have been written about this have been shared. Every time, every person that's asked about it, did Donald Trump do anything? No. Did he help you? Yes. That's what else do you need to know?
That's it.
Every time, and if it comes out the same way every time, like, don't you have to be insane to expect that it's going to turn out different later? If it's laid out every time and every answer is the same, why do you expect something different in the end? That's the thing that I mean. It's like you're saying they got nothing else.
Well, there's largely been an irrational hope. And
that's it. Irrational hope. That's good. Yeah.
What have we pointed out? We pointed out Sisyphus.
Yep.
The person in Greek mythology of I'm pushing up this boulder up a hill for all eternity. And what happens when you get to the top of the hill? Boulder rolls back down.
That's right.
That is what the Democrats have been when it comes to any sort of prosecution or we're going to get Trump. I mean, think about this. We're now going on a decade of, hey, Robert Mueller's going to get him. Fonnie Willis has him.
That's right.
Hey, we got a couple cases in New York. He's never going to be president again.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there's no way he's going to survive X scandal.
When they had to go in to Mar-a-Lago.
The FBI raided his home. There's no way he'll ever be president ever again. All right, this is just the next one. And this is why I talk about the tired playbook. And the Democrats continue to fall for this. I'm just asking a question. If you're talking about a man who's gotten to 80 years old, well, in this case, let's go back, 78 years old, and he had never had a felony on his record or so much as anything. What about a bankruptcy? That's not a crime.
That's right.
Those are called tax laws.
Yeah,
okay.
that's right.
There is
Ask any large business owner, businessman, Ted Turner included.
There is nothing on a criminal record. So suddenly at 78, he turned into a criminal mastermind. That's what you tried to sell me.
Yeah.
That's what the Democrats tried to do. Oh, look what he's now involved in. So this is just the latest one.
We're hopeful.
Yes.
That's what that had happened.
Whereas on the way out, the Biden family had to give the entire Biden's pardons.
Every one of them.
Why did they have to do that? Oh, I don't know. Maybe 120 shell companies and moving money from around the world that they were laundering. I'm just pointing it out. I mean, again, you didn't need Eric Trump or Donald Trump Jr.
But they told
or
you
Ivanka on a pardon on the way out, did you?
But they told you that was. Remember the first administration? They're like, he's going to pardon all his kids.
He's going to pardon his whole family.
That's all they talked about.
Joe did it on the way out.
Yeah. They didn't. Trump didn't because he didn't need to.
Joe handed out more pardons than any president in the history of this country. Actually, the pen did.
Yeah, so Joe didn't know what was going on.
This is the latest one.
The only one we're convinced of is his son's because his handwriting was so shaky, and you could see it in the signing of the Hunter Biden pardon. The rest of them, auto pen out the door. He had no idea what was going on.
All right, let me ask you a quick question.
Yeah,
because when a leftist sends you something on X at 5 o'clock in the morning, do you think that they just woke up and felt that way, or do you they think they finished drinking and felt that way?
I'm probably going with the latter. That would be my guess.
You think I should respond?
No.
You think I should put it out there for everybody? Let them know. Let me tell you how broken up I am about what you think.
No, I wouldn't even.
I just saw one this morning. I was like, who went ahead and sent me something at 4 something in the morning?
I don't want to give them the benefit of my that I've even paid them enough attention to read what they've said.
Listen, at this point, they're not going to see it until probably 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon when it's time to go to work.
Yeah. So, you think? I don't know about that.
just guessing.
I don't know if they work. Something tells
I'm just shocked to see it at that hour.
Yeah, it's early.
Like, you realize how much, and I appreciate this. I told my daughter this last night. I was like, we've talked about this in the past about building up haters. It's like Donald Trump, that dude's build up a ton of haters.
You got a lot of them.
And then he's trying to create more haters. He's like, hey, you have a problem with the tariff policy? 10% more.
That's right. Here, have some of this.
I know you weren't sure about if you were hating me or not, but we need to build up more haters.
I want to make sure you do.
If I've got haters growing at like 4:30 in the morning, I'm doing things right.
I love it. I love it.
I need to get 20 more haters.
I can't imagine tweeting anything at 5 o'clock in the morning. Can you? I mean, I'll glance through, but there's nothing I want to say at 5 o'clock in the morning. I mean, it's an hour before we crack the mics open. It usually takes me a few minutes to ramp up. I think it takes most people a few minutes to ramp up before they're able to, have some sort of grandiose opinion about something.
All right, so I had a comment on the Falcon season. It wasn't any big deal.
It's from about the Falcons, the hater.
Let's see. Something about being a Trump clown, but I was asked, do you really think you're always right? And I'm just going to retweet and say management and ownership apparently does. That's the sort of thing that's like,
Yeah.
Like he's going to wake up at like 1 or 2 in the afternoon and be like, what an a-hole. And I would be like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And in Trump's America, you get to tell these people how it is. I'm the one who's winning. You are in perpetual loserhood.
Oh, like, I'm not even sure what a person like that does. What is it that you're doing that you respond at 5 in the morning? That's the thing that who's actually sending out tweets at 5 in the morning?
Drinkers.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sleeping comfortably.
That's right. That's next level crazy.
Then I'm getting up and I'm like, hey, I'm going to go do one of the most fun radio shows I've ever done in my life. What are you doing?
I'm being mad. I'm being
I told you, I'm the happy warrior here.
That's right, absolutely.
You're just sitting there upset. But as I let him know, management and ownership apparently does.
Yeah, that's right. So,
do you really think you're always right?
It doesn't matter what I think.
As the oracle, yeah, it doesn't matter what I think. You know who it matters to?
The dude that cuts
Them
the check.
people in the corner office who cut the check.
That's what I'm talking about. Oh, Lord, I love it. Alligator Alcatraz.
Huh.
I mean, that story is kind of just gone for the most part. I've not heard anybody talk about Alligator Alcatraz whatsoever. And then it shows up on the show today, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. Alligator Alcatraz is back in the purview?
So there was a story in the Orlando Sentinel. And, okay, so when you start going for this, and we had talked about this early on in the Trump administration, you're going to have stories that are going to try and pull at your heartstrings when it comes to illegal immigration. Mm-hmm. All right, what do they call them in New York? Like they're migrants. They're not migrants. No. They're not migrating anywhere. All right, they're showing up to take your resources. In fact, I think one of the numbers that we had even last night, 40% of the housing that's been given away for free in New York has gone to people that are here illegally that are not supposed to be here.
Imagine what the housing problem would look like if you got rid of the 40%.
Oh, suddenly there's going to be a lot of room for a lot of people. Oh, it's going to be crazy. So there's a story in the Orlando Sentinel, and it's all about a man, and it just talks about how he's 79 years old, and he's a Sanford grandfather.
Oh, yes.
And it's sad what they're doing to him, or they have decided to grab him, and they're sending him out of this country after this amount of time. You have to get down. I mean, quite a ways, because the story is all of, can you imagine being snapped off the street?
It's in the last fourth of the story.
Can you imagine that everything that you've grown accustomed to in this country is being taken away from you?
Horrible.
And then in the last little bit, it says, oh, by the way, Grandpa was rapey at one point, and he's a convicted rapist with a deportation order.
Uh-oh. Yeah. So we're removing people who are guilty of rape. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, we're not supposed to be here.
Okay. What's the point of the story in the Orlando Sentinel?
Isn't that the fun part?
Help me understand what they're arguing
I was like,
about.
you're tugging at my heartstrings. You're just not supposed to use rape.
Yeah. Because that changes the dynamic. Like if you led with that, do you think that people would have the same feeling about the article? Because most people, let's be honest, when most people read articles, they read about 3/4 of it, and then they bail out. They kind of have an idea what's going on. That's why they saved that really important piece till the last couple lines.
All I'm suggesting to the left is that if you're going to be so upset because you're so after Donald Trump, that you're so upset you're going to go after a guy thinking that he's, what is it they always go with, like, he's a pedophile in the office. Come on, you're the party of pedophilia. Like, he's supposed to be your buddy at that point. But if we're going to hold people accountable for maybe being on a list or being part of the Epstein files or whatever they did, well, how about a guy who raped somebody after a fraternity party?
Nothing to see here.
In the 70s.
Nothing to see here.
And he's not supposed to be here.
Los, you can't talk about that.
Aren't we supposed to have no statute of limitations by which we send them out of the country because it is a rapey guy?
Yes. Let's put that at the beginning of the story and see how people react.
We're just not going to put that in there that, fraternity dude decided to rape somebody.
Yeah, because, I mean, I guess you would have to. You know, you'd have to put it in there because that's an important detail. But that's why you bury it at the very, very end.
I'm here for the victims.
I know you are.
And so Grandpa got to go.
That's right.
Even though he's in his 70s.
That's right. It's
like,
doesn't matter how old you are.
Good luck to you, Chief.
If you're guilty of rape and you're not supposed to be here, it's time to go.
Take care. Bye-bye now.
Thank you, Orlando Sentinel, for helping us understand the story better. 6 o'clock hour brought to you by Subaru of Gwinnett. When we continue, MTG is mad, but Trump did her a favor. Next on the Morning Extra.
The Morning Extra has you covered until 10 a.m. Then it's Glenn Beck, Clay Travis, and Buck Sexton at noon, and The Kimmer Show taking over at 3, only on Extra 106.3.
Big moments deserve big-time craftsmanship. At Solomon Brothers Jewelers, we've been family-owned and operated since 1982 because we know what it means to show up when it counts. Jaron Solomon here, and that's why we're proud to be an official Tacori jeweler. Each Tacori ring is handcrafted in California, going through 20 elite artisans before it hits your hands. Not mass-produced, not generic, always personal. And with Solomon Brothers, you get lifetime cleanings, unbeatable financing, and the largest Tacori selection in Georgia. Stop by a store in Buckhead, Alpharetta, or Sharpsburg. Visit SolomonBrothers.com to book your private appointment. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, where love is in the details and legends are built to last. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs and official jeweler of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
This is Window Nation, your source for affordable replacement windows at the highest quality. So if your old windows have you boiling in the summer and freezing in the winter, you need the pros at Window Nation with installation precision and experience that are second to none. Their custom windows are guaranteed to be a perfect fit, and they're backed by the best warranty in the industry. Go to GetWindowNation.com or call 866-90Nation for your free estimate. And for a limited time, get 50% off all window styles, plus pay no interest for 5 years.
Hi, it's Los, here with Tom Mitchell, the Honest Car Guy. Tom, you are changing the way people are buying their next pre-owned car or truck. How are you doing it?
We found a better way for customers to buy a car. An honest way, a very transparent way. You pay what we pay plus our honest fee. We even prove it to you by giving you a copy of the bill of sale at the end of the deal. The Honest Car Guy, you'll save an average of $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the price of the car.
Folks, if you want to save thousands on your next pre-owned car or truck, call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or honestcarguy.com.
Fox rocks.
I'm Monica DeLuca. The performers for this year's Thanksgiving Day NFL halftime shows have been announced.
Now they always say congratulations. Work so hard, forgot how to vacation.
Post Malone, Jack White, and Lil Jon are set to perform during the 3 games, each taking place November 27. Post Malone will take the stage at the Dallas Cowboys Kansas City Chiefs game in Arlington. The lead singer of the White Stripes will headline the Detroit Lions Green Bay Packers matchup in Detroit, while Lil Jon will appear at the Baltimore Ravens Cincinnati Bengals game in Baltimore. And Ariana Grande will be hosting SNL for a 3rd time. Rather than the Wicked star hosting and performing, which she did for her first Saturday Night Live show in 2016, Cher will be her musical guest. The episode will air December 20th. That's Fox Rocks on Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Tuesday, November 18th. The FBI seized thousands of kilos of meth hidden in boxes of jalapenos imported from Mexico in North Georgia. The bust is part of Operation Take Back America by the FBI. 12 suspects were arrested and have pled guilty to drug trafficking charges. Several of those arrested were Mexican nationals. Officials say they have ties to Mexican drug cartels. The state of Georgia is rolling out more than $42 million in grants to help combat the opioid crisis. The funding comes from multiple national opioid lawsuit settlements. It'll reach 109 projects across the state. Programs receiving funding focus on early intervention and prevention, recovery, workforce training, and housing. And the city of Alpharetta voted to approve a tax allocation for the redevelopment of the North Point Mall. A recent study proposes that the site be redeveloped for about 2,600 residential housing units and nearly 3 million square feet of commercial space, including retail, hotels, and office space. Today's weather partly cloudy with a high of 73 degrees. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
Morning Extra and Extra 106.3, Tug and Los until 10. Donald Trump did Marjorie Taylor Greene a solid. He didn't tell her what to do. He just said, here's what you're up against. I want you to know what you're up against. And Scott Jennings from CNN, the only bright spot over there, was like, oh, no. Let me tell you how this actually worked, because the mainstream media loves this rift between MTG, the firecracker, and Donald Trump. They think they have a foothold in, separating Trump from his base, separating Trump from his allies, but that's not the case.
technically true based on what I've heard and what I know, that he didn't tell her not to run, but what she didn't say was that he sent her a poll privately, discreetly, and it had information in it, and it showed her down 20 points to Jon Ossoff. And so in politics, when you want to send a message to someone that you like or that has been an ally, you don't embarrass them publicly. You privately send them information and show them what the reality is. And so I think it's true that he didn't tell her not to run, but it's also true that he did her a big favor, which is to show her information that a candidacy statewide in Georgia for her would have been a disaster.
She is very popular in Northwest Georgia. That is red as blood red can be, where she represents in Rome, where she lives, and up where I'm from in Dalton in Northwest Georgia. That's where she represents. Her brand of politics are just fine with them. Being a lightning rod, they don't care about it. They want somebody that's going to spit the truth and tell the truth and not sugarcoat it.
Just fine with me, too.
Yes, right, absolutely. But we know that's not going to work statewide. And if she wants to win a statewide election, she's going to have to get votes from across the state. And if she is down 20 points to Jon Ossoff, the most vulnerable senator, the Democrat Party even recognizes that he's the most vulnerable senator that is coming up in the midterms. If she's down 20 points to the most vulnerable, she ain't going to win. He did her a favor by saying, hey, I'm going to tell you what to do, but you should know this.
All right, this does not apply to this audience. Doesn't apply to Jerry, doesn't apply to myself or Tug. But let's make sure we understand the lay of the land. In Florida, Florida is so blood red that when you look at the voting patterns, the Democrats don't have a foothold there anymore. That's not going to happen. You can look at how their senators have voted, and they are the most conservative senators, along with Marsha Blackburn in Tennessee. Tennessee, blood red in terms of how they expect the voting. That is not the case here. Mississippi, Alabama, you can be super conservative. Yep. Georgia, and you can call it the influence of the tech industry. You can call it the influence of Hollywood. Georgia is much more establishment Republican than any of its neighbors.
And you can look at that and get that from who sits in the governor's office.
Why did we have the scenario where Brian Kemp won walking away very easily, yet he didn't carry Herschel Walker across the finish line? It's because the establishment wouldn't vote for Herschel.
That's right.
Now, you had a bunch of conservatives who are like, all right, you know what? This is for the fight. This is what I'm doing. But this is a state that is run by establishment Republicans, not conservatives. So, yeah, we're this beacon of hope that's out here, and we do really great with the numbers, and we love this audience. But let's just get it straight. That was the information that was given to Marjorie Taylor Greene. You were incredibly popular in a blood red area with a ton of conservatives.
Northwest Georgia.
And you will win that seat every single time you run for it. But in the state of Georgia, you're going to have a problem. And so I get why she's doing what she's doing. At the same time, you're hurting that brand as far as, are you on board with this stuff?
You're hurting yourself in Northwest Georgia. You're not hurting yourself in Metro Atlanta. You're not hurting yourself maybe in Columbus or even Savannah, maybe even out in Augusta a little bit. But the rest of the state, people are going, well, what's happened to Marjorie?
Yeah.
What is it? She went on The View?
She went on The View?
Huh? Tell me one conservative that thinks going on The View is a good idea.
Now,
unless you're going there to set them straight, which is not what happened.
In all honesty, you can remake the image. AOC showed up in Congress doing the same stuff. And they told her, if you want to stay here, you better calm that S down. And what did she do? She did. Now, as Tim Burchett calls her, friendly neighborhood Marxist.
Yeah.
All right.
Good old Tim.
She hadn't changed her views. She's just not saying it out loud anymore. And I think that's where Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to have to, if she aspires for something more, and again, you're in Congress. Like, you can sit in Congress for 20, 30, 40 years, do what you're going to do, and fight for the state of Georgia. But if you want something else.
And I believe she has done that.
Yes, I believe too. If you want to be senator, then the messaging has to change. And I think that's what she's doing, but it's causing an issue because she's one of the firebrands of the Republican Party. She's one of the people that you know is going to espouse conservative values and will throw it in your face. You say, you know what? not really sure about that laptop. She's like, oh, yeah? Well, I tell you what, here's Hunter Biden naked, smoking crack.
In front of the Congress, in front of God and everybody.
Showed it was an 8-foot picture of it.
And then there was that point, I think it was on The View. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was on The View where she was apologizing for being so polarizing in the past. But that's exactly what got you elected. That's exactly what the people in Northwest Georgia want. They want you to rub it in their face because they've had it rubbed in their face for 50 years with mainstream media. That's why she's so popular. And now that she's showing up on The View, people up there are going...
Wait a minute, did you go Hollywood? What happened?
Go Hollywood. That's a great way to put it.
What happened? Because this is what happened. When Tug Cowart goes home, he pulls into the bar that's the inspiration for Roadhouse. And they're all like, oh, there's that Tug guy. He went and got all prettied up. He went to the Navy. Now he's all big time. He's all in Atlanta. Yeah, they put him on billboards over there. They look at him as he went Hollywood. Well, I think that's the way they look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. And there's something about the band you discover and the band you like. Mm-hmm. We all have one of them. I was one of the first people to heard them. Once they went mainstream, you're like, man.
Back off a little bit.
MTG was mainstream only in that she was criticized for mainstream. Now it's turned into different people saying, well, maybe I should listen to her more. I kind of liked her this time around. I like the fact that my mom can't stand her.
The fact that the people on The View and her were so chummy when she went on, I think she went on MSNBC too. Now, PMS Now, if you look at the logo.
PMS Now.
But just MS Now as far as the official name. I think she went on there and they had just a great swimming conversation, which automatically makes me go, dude, who are you trying to, you can't serve two masters. Which master are you trying to serve?
If we were to have someone from, like I said, if we had John Ossoff on, we would be as equally as cordial.
Absolutely.
Would we ask some tougher questions? Yes. Yep. Would we ask him to explain it? Yes. Would it be contentious? I hope not. We're more contentious with the people we know that we agree with because we're trying to get an answer at times. And I believe that's what she did with The View. But you went on The View.
Dude, that's like
that's 100% propaganda every single day against the administration and anything Donald Trump. Yeah, it'd be one thing if you said you went on and did a particular podcast. Like, hey, you got with Gavin Newsom. They know what, y'all had it out for a little while.
That's the difference, though. She didn't have it out with The View. It was all chummy and look, everybody's friends here.
You went on Bill Maher, and y'all argued over some of the elements. Okay.
That's fine.
It's different when you go on The View.
The View
it's different.
That's like Devil's Doorstep.
She wanted to go on there to remake the image, and that's where I think that was going to be a problem.
Well, and it's too much for Donald Trump because Trump's like, dude, they hate my guts. They talk about me horribly every day.
To the point where they have to stop down to make sure they read from the lawyers so they don't get sued.
They slide it over on the table. Oh, I've been told I have to read this message. I don't believe anything that's on this message, but I have to read it to keep us from getting sued like ABC, CBS, and now the BBC.
And by the way, then there's the other end of it, the golfing with Lindsey Graham. That's all about gearing up for next month with the healthcare fight because you need Lady Graham and the establishment Republicans to get this thing done.
And if you don't believe that to be true, you had an opportunity to get rid of Obamacare. The establishment Republican in John McCain at the time, God rest his soul, stuck it to Donald Trump, and you are now stuck with Obamacare because of a partisan issue, a partisan fight. When you have to flash back to things that are hurtful, you need to do it and embrace yourself for it. And Los, I kind of feel like that's what we're going to do here.
Oh, we're shooting back. But this is a little bit of like a dream within a dream, right? Because you're going to actually hear two pieces of audio cuts. This is going we're going flashback to basically 2012-ish area, but we're also flashing back to 2010. All right, so that's what's happening.
15 years ago.
Yes.
Almost getting close to 16 years ago.
We're way back.
Goodness.
At this point, I don't even have kids. Marriage is like a lot of fun. You got like a afro.
Yeah,
we got stuff going on.
I actually had hair because it's just falling out.
That's right. But listen, I'm still here for you.
I know you are, and that's what a real friend does.
It's like real support here.
That's right.
You and your old afro, and me before I even had to worry about a bunch of girls tearing the house up.
Yeah. Huh.
So this was from 2012, and Nancy Pelosi was a guest on Meet the Press. you're going to hear the premise. Now, let me tell you where they were in 2012. The Obamacare website is not working correctly. They're having trouble with people getting signed up. We now are in a place where the Supreme Court is going to look at this and whether or not it's legal. Because remember, at the time, it was a penalty. Well, you can't impose a penalty. You can't make the American people buy something against their will, but you can tax them. That's how it got saved eventually. But so you're going to hear from Meet the Press 2012, Nancy Pelosi's in studio. You're then going to hear what they played in 2010. And it's Nancy on the campaign trail for Obamacare and how she told you. Now she's having to explain the whole, well, we've got to pass it in order for you to know what's in it.
But then you said this in March of 2010.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it away from the fog of the controversy.
And hasn't that idea that you have to pass it before you know what's in it, isn't that really the problem as you look back on it? That there was such a rush to get this done, no Republicans voting for it, and now there are unintended effects of this that were foreseen at the time that you couldn't know the impact of it, and now this is coming home to roost.
No, what I was saying there is we are House and the Senate, we get a bill, we go to conference, or we ping-pong it, and then you see what the final product is. However, I stand by what I said there. When people see what is in the bill, they will like it, and they will.
All right, let's just be very honest about this. It took 6 years for Obamacare to fail. I know we can talk about 15 years ago. We can talk about how 12, 13 years ago. It took 6 years because during 2020, during COVID, when there were less people working, you were staying at home, you weren't generating the money that the system needed. It took 6 years for Obamacare to fail, and it limped along with a subsidy program. And so now, here's the failure point. It didn't even take a decade for this thing to fail. It barely took 5 years for this thing to fail. And now, here's where we're at. And fortunately, the one prediction that has not worked out, hey, this will lead to single payer. That's not happening.
No, it's actually going to be the exact opposite. There's going to be a hole in it, and there's going to be a ability to buy insurance or to have an HSA to buy insurance, and there be some sort of competition part of it. Will it lead to a complete open competitive nature? Probably not, or at least not right now.
I think the question becomes is if you cut out the industry, the insurance industry, what then does that create? Does the industry, because now that they're not getting the money up front, do they suddenly become much more competitive? Because that's the idea.
You have to cater to people versus,
hey, I just got my money, so now I'm going to tell you here's what it's going to be.
You got to cater individually, which could lead to, maybe this is me wishful thinking, could lead to just the cracking of Obamacare, at least the government side of it, because there is so much competition.
Now, the danger is what happens if we're handing out the amount of money that then drives up the cost even more because it's
they've got all this money.
Artificially, now we can charge them more.
Yeah.
Here's so this is a balancing act.
Yeah, sure it is. Like everything in life.
And we will see what happens in December, but I do believe this is going to be the next big attack as far as from the administration to go after healthcare. And again, it all harkens back to that 2010, 2012 period of, well, we'll have to pass it so you can see what's in it. And it took 6 years for it to fail completely, right on its face.
And it is a disaster, and it was always going to be a disaster. Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. When we come back, the DOJ has its sights set on California's race-based gerrymandering. Next on Extra.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Tuesday, November 18th. From the NBA, the Detroit Pistons are now 12-2 and leading the Eastern Conference as they show up to State Farm Arena tonight to take on the 9-5 Atlanta Hawks. The Pistons are on the second game of back-to-back. The Hawks coming off a very successful West Coast road trip and rested. Tip-off is set for 7:30. The next round of the college football playoff rankings will be out tonight. Georgia looking to move into that top 4. The reveal is set for 8:30, and the Atlanta Falcons will be without quarterback Michael Penix Jr. for what looks like the remainder of the season. Penix suffered a partially torn ACL in his knee, and the Falcons lost to the Carolina Panthers. Kirk Cousins takes over as the starter. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Carlos and I were looking at the cost of these massage chairs, like the one that is here at Dickey Broadcasting Company, and some of them are $2,000, and some of them are like $17,000. And there's no coupon. There's no way to save money. I mean, it just is what it is. You're paying what you're paying. Different if you're shopping with Central Heating and Air Conditioning, because they do have a big time discount. Matter of fact, got 2 of them right now. You can save up to $2,100 on a brand new Carrier system. The best in the business, working with the best in the business at Central Heating and Air Conditioning. And 60 months, 0% financing with approved credit. Now, I can't find one of those on the massage chair, but Lord, I'm glad if it comes down to it in my system, my HVAC goes down, I can depend on Chuck and his team to make sure that my home stays comfortable. Up to $2,100 in rebates and 60 months, 0% financing with approved credit. Both savings up front and no interest for 5 full years. Brand new Carrier system from Central. Get it today. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com.
Hey, Braves fans, sometimes life throws you a knee-buckling curveball. That's when Truist One Checking steps up to the plate. If you're behind in the count, you won't have to worry about overdraft fees. Plus, eligible clients enjoy a balance buffer for some extra cushion. You'll get a convenient mobile app to keep an eye on things and access to thousands of Truist ATMs. Be ready every inning with Truist One Checking. It's life-ready checking that grows with you. Get Truist One Checking today. Truist Bank. Member FDIC.
Find your perfect Ford today at Jim Ellis Ford, Sandy Springs. Home to one of Atlanta's largest selections of new and used vehicles. They're just 4 miles north of 285 on Roswell Road.
Stop by today to explore their incredible inventory of cars, trucks, and SUVs, each thoroughly vetted to meet the highest standards.
Looking for power and performance? Drive home a legendary Mustang or conquer the great outdoors in the rugged Bronco.
Need family-friendly space? The Explorer and Expedition have you covered. Or experience the capability and strength of America's best-selling truck, the F-150.
And when it's time to finance, their straightforward, hassle-free process ensures your experience is stress-free.
With access to numerous lenders and expert guidance, they'll help you find the best rates and terms to fit your budget.
Which Ford will you drive home next? Find out at Jim Ellis Ford, Sandy Springs, or visit them online at jimellisford.com.
Your Ford dreams are waiting. Make them a reality today at Atlanta's favorite Ford dealer, Jim Ellis Ford, Sandy Springs.
So, the doc says I have ED. ED. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's just an abbreviation for a condition so many men have. If I was to be honest, I probably also have a little OCD. I know I have a great HMO. Heck, I even have 3 weeks of PTO. Look, don't let a few letters get you down. If you have ED, there's HELP. Go see Dr. Deal at Total Body Therapy of Georgia. He's an ED specialist that will turn your life around PDQ. ED happens to a lot of men as we age. And just FYI, Dr. Deal can give you back the confidence you need to perform on the JOB. So, ready to take the first step? Quit yelling WTF at your little BFF and visit tbtofga.com. Total Body Therapy of Georgia. They can fix your ED ASAP. And before you know it, you'll be screaming OMG.
I'm getting in the game. The world won't be the same. I'm good to go.
Call 404-777-1911 or visit tbtofga.com.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
The only thing better than covering all these Trump wins is watching the left implode over it.
Donald Trump is entertaining the world while he's changing the whole freaking planet.
Extra 106.3 is committed to bring you the news you care about most. From Atlanta legends and conservative voices you've relied on for a generation. Proud to be Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Tug and Los until 10 on Extra 106.3. Appreciate you listening in, however you're listening in, on the Extra 106.3 app, 1063.com, or even 106.3 FM, 1230 AM. However you're here, welcome. We are glad you're here. We don't care, who you are, what your background is. We're just glad that you care about the country the way that we care about the country and have these discussions based on what is happening in and around the country. Like, let's take, I don't know, California.
Oh, that place.
I've only been one time. One of the most beautiful places I've ever been in my whole life. And yet, they run it like it's a dump.
Like an amusement park?
Yes, like crazy.
Like one they don't really take care of. Not like Disney. Right. Not like Dollywood.
Yes, right. Dollywood, number one. Ranked number one theme park in America, by the way.
But kind of like a not well-kept Six Flags. Like it looks kind of cool from the outside. Looks like it's a lot of fun.
You get in there and there's just trash everywhere.
You get in there and you're like, oh.
Is that a homeless man?
Like, why are these people don't care so much? Is that guy dead? I think that guy's dead.
Somebody call the fire department.
You get a little bit of that.
Call the ambulance or something.
Like not Six Flags Fiesta, Texas, mind you.
No.
That's in a nice area of San Antonio.
Yeah, I've never been there.
This would be like one of those Six Flags where you're not really sure.
Yeah, right.
Like if there was a poorly kept SeaWorld, I'd be like, ooh.
where the animals were all like had only one
squirrely.
Yeah, one fan,
one flipper.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the trainers are really not trustworthy.
Yeah,
kind of like that. That's California.
Like, do you love these animals? No. Then why are you here?
I saw the sign. It said SeaWorld. I was like, ooh. And then you got in there and you're like, oh.
Is there someone living with a fire garbage can under the Georgia cyclone? What is happening?
What is going on over there?
This is terrible.
So that's a fun way of putting it. It's a very pretty area. It's a very nice place. It's just been ruined by the inhabitants and the people that run it. Well, this was the discussion, and this is like that multi-pronged assault. As much as you want to talk about Epstein files and all, again, to me, that's cotton candy. There's nothing of nutritional value behind it. It's just, oh, look, sugar high. Woo, okay.
Woo-hoo.
Now what are we getting into? We are getting into what's coming down the pike. And this is what happened in California when they decided to completely outvote their committee that draws up their districts. And this is now a discussion where if we have the Voting Act of 1964 that ends up being changed, which is basically you cannot build districts around race. Race cannot be a factor. Now, the voting or the rights that came down, the law was that you couldn't use race in any way when it came to elections. Well, the Democrats have been using race for years to gerrymander. So I want you to listen as this is going to be the plan. This is the multi-pronged assault that's going to take out this in California. And as soon as the Supreme Court rules on it, this might not even require us to be in a big fight with California. It just might be made illegal.
It wasn't even illicit. They are flat out publicizing what they're trying to do and why they're trying to do it. They're trying to create seats based on race, and they can't do it. And we're going to hold them accountable just like any other state. I mean, they very publicly said, Sean, what they're trying to do, and it's illegal gerrymandering. They cannot do it. So, yeah, we sued them today. We're going to continue suing California until they start complying with the laws of our country. Whether it's, what else, sanctuary cities, the Second Amendment. Mm-hmm. We're winning in the Supreme Court.
National Guard.
Our ICE, that's exactly right, that the National Guard and ICE can be in California to actually protect the citizens of California. Let's see, what else? Illegal emissions from trucks.
Let's see what else.
Look what Sean Duffy did today.
Mm-hmm.
Look what he found with all the truckers who were given illegal licenses, truck driving licenses in California. It's constant with that state.
We saw what happened in Florida.
So that is Pam Bondi. That is the U.S. Attorney General talking about what all that California is doing that is illegal by federal standards. And that California's just decided, well, I guess we're just doing our own thing. Well, if it's going to require us to get involved in terms of the rest of the country to tell you that is illegal, that, sorry, federal law is going to usurp whatever you think that you have going on, then, and it has to be enforced in this way, well, then fine. Now, Gavin Newsom doesn't mind because it'll show that, look, I'm a fighter.
Yeah, because that's
I'm a fighter.
Because that's what it's all about. It's not about the results. It's just showing that you're willing to fight Trump on whatever it is.
But there's a reason why, for the first time in the state's history, they've had, for 5 straight years, more people leaving California than showing up in California.
And the number's like 500,000.
Yeah.
It may be probably north of that now. That was last year when that number came out.
Now, Silicon Valley is always probably going to be Silicon Valley. But I think that'll be that last signal. Like, it's one thing when SpaceX decides, hey, we're getting out of here. We're going to Texas. All right, that was Elon with his belief system. Let's see what happens when the rest of the state, because right now it's still cool to, hey, we're still in California. A lot of people are finding out it's a lot cooler to be in Tennessee or Texas or Georgia.
Well, because you can afford to live.
You can afford to live.
And you can go visit California and see Point Loma or see L.A. or San Francisco and the Golden Gate, and then get back to where you can afford to live.
And there's nowhere near as much red tape when it comes to business development, or if, I don't know, let's say your house gets burned down by a fire, trying to rebuild it.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, unimaginable what they're doing to those folks. And you laid it out well yesterday about some of the things that happened down in Florida where you had a house at the time.
We saw what happens when the local government gets involved, and that's really what it comes down to. California has so many wacky laws and rules on the books. So let me get this straight. You're going to allow illegals who can't speak English or read English to operate thousands of pounds on America's highways.
Yep.
Like, this sounds like a good idea?
No name on the driver's license either, by the way. We have no idea who this dude is.
Like, this is what we're doing. We're handing out driver's licenses for thousands. And there's the other part of it, too. The amount of companies that are willing to, this person will work for a lot less.
Count me in.
You probably can run them roughshod. Do you think that they're so concerned
with your safety as you and your family are driving down the street? They're not.
And the typical laws in which, and regulations in which you operate? Because not all regulations are bad, in my opinion.
No, of course not.
Like, if the idea that I'm an airline pilot and I'm only allowed to fly this many hours during the course of a day, I'm like, okay, there's a regulation.
Or a tractor trailer driver not driving 24 hours.
How often?
When you get too tired, you're going to cause accidents. You're going to cause havoc.
But if you happen to be in California and you can't rebuild your home because we're concerned about a particular fish,
yeah,
that's a regulation. It's a little bit of a problem.
It's gone too far. Wasn't it funny, though? Like, as I heard Bondi saying, and if we're going to sue him for this and that and the other thing, she sounded to me like a, I don't know, second or third grade teacher at parent-teacher conference day. And the teacher was like, yes, ma'am, so your son does this and that and the other thing. And then when I caught him doing this, he went over there and did that. And we're going to have to fix all these things because your child is a menace in my class. That's what I heard in my ears.
I know that it's frustrating, and I'm frustrated too. There are points where I'm looking at it. The president is frustrated at times. It's like Pam Bondi in action figure. But there is the other end of the pancake, which is when she does move, the case is solid.
Yeah. And
the case is done. Like, you're done.
Yeah, like we're going to get the result that we expect.
Yes.
Yeah. So you got to give her credit for that. But it is.
But it does seem slow moving.
What do they say? The wheels of justice turn slowly. That's what I've always heard.
I mean, you can always be the Biden administration that just went so roughshod with Jack Smith that they actually created their own Frankenstein demon, which is going to get them out of, it's going to put them in the state of Florida having to defend what they were doing.
Yeah.
Because of how quickly they moved.
You know what I'm talking about, getting your popcorn? I'm getting my popcorn for that one. Like, I can't wait for that. When we continue on Extra 106.3, the Trump plan to gut Obamacare like a fish. Next on Extra.
Support the advertisers and partners that share your values. Give our Extra advertisers the first shot to earn your business. They will deliver for you every time and support the Extra community like no one else. Connect with all of our partners online at extra1063.com.
Join Daniel Madelon, CEO of A Second Chance Bail Bonds, and co-host Tug Cowart as they bring together law enforcement, justice insiders, and voices from every part of the justice system, victims, advocates, and people who've turned their lives around. It's not PR, it's not fluff. It's an honest talk about what's working, what's broken, and how to build a better path forward, one second chance at a time. This week's guest is Georgia State Representative Sue Hong. Justice Unfiltered. Unfiltered, informed, and unbiased.
It's midnight and the phone rings. It's a loved one calling from jail. They had a little too much fun at the holiday party and got pulled over. Now what? Time to call A Second Chance Bail Bonds. A Second Chance will get your loved one home quickly. For 20 years, they've been helping folks with 12 locations across Metro Atlanta and Birmingham and are available 24/7. For fast, professional, discreet services, call 404-BAILOUT. That's 404-BAILOUT or visit atlbail.com. A Second Chance Bail Bonds. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us.
This is Fox on Justice. It was on June 12, 1994 that Ron Goldman was brutally stabbed to death alongside his friend O.J. Simpson's ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the crime of murder.
A jury in the criminal trial found Simpson not guilty, but Ron Goldman's family then pursued Simpson in civil court. The jury in that case found Simpson liable for the deaths of Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown and ordered Simpson to pay $33 million to the families. For nearly 2 decades, Simpson failed to pay almost anything. And in April 2024, Simpson died from cancer. The executor of his estate, Simpson's longtime lawyer, Malcolm Laverne, said then that he would do everything he could to ensure the Goldmans, quote, got nothing. But Laverne now confirms to Fox there is an agreement in place to pay the Goldman family once Simpson's IRS debts have been settled. In Los Angeles, Jonathan Hunt, Fox News.
Fox on Tech. Wall Street is betting big right now that everything you buy and sell, from gold to real estate, will all soon be tokenized, ending slow paper-based trading, moving into the future of 24/7 instant digital trading. Like trading stocks, you own a piece of real estate or gold, for example, but it's bought using stablecoin and you can do it anytime, day or night. Right now, buying a bond takes about 2 days to finalize, but Wall Street leaders like BlackRock, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and Citi are all preparing, building a tokenized stock exchange to handle these instant trades. However, the U.S. isn't the first country to look to break into this. France unveiled the first ever tokenized stock exchange, calling it the Lightning Stock Exchange, leaving many U.S. crypto advocates frustrated. Here in the U.S., the Genius Act, signed into law by President Trump this year, creating a regulatory framework supporting stablecoins, a key digital asset in tokenization. With Fox on Tech, Darren Vitello, Fox Business.
Streaming across Georgia on the Extra 1063 app. This is WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. Extra 1063.
Vote is expected today on the Epstein files. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and President Trump says he supports the resolution to compel his Justice Department to turn over more files for the investigation into the late Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking scheme involving underage girls. And the president urges Republicans to vote in favor, saying it's a problem for Democrats.
Some of the people that we mentioned are being looked at very seriously for their relationship to Jeffrey Epstein, but they were with him all the time. I wasn't at all.
Former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers, who was also mentioned in Epstein emails, he says he's stepping back from his public roles. Summers saying in part, I am deeply ashamed of my actions and recognize the pain they have caused. The president has called the Justice Department to investigate Summers along with other prominent figures for their ties to Epstein.
Fox's Madeline Rivera. Later today, President Trump will host Saudi Arabia's leader.
Saudi Arabian flags are flying alongside the U.S. and D.C. flags down Pennsylvania Avenue ahead of Crown Prince Prince Mohammed bin Salman's arrival here. While not technically a state visit, 2 days of meetings with cabinet officials and business leaders are planned, and the president is hosting the Crown Prince at a black-tie dinner tonight.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The new Trump administration crackdown on illegal immigration continues in North Carolina. There have been well over 100 arrests in Charlotte targeting those with criminal records, and Raleigh's mayor says federal agents are expected today in the capital city as well, as a county judge in Tennessee attempts to block a Trump crime crackdown in Memphis.
At least 150 National Guard troops deployed by Governor Bill Lee are in Memphis, supporting a multi-agency federal task force sent in by President Trump to address the city's high crime rate, although the police department says that's at a 25-year low. Democrats in state and local government sued, and a judge agrees. Governor Lee overstepped his constitutional authority, deploying the Guard for civil unrest without the approval of state lawmakers.
That's Fox's Chris Foster. The judge put the order on hold for 5 days to allow for an appeal. America's listening to Fox News.
So Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $29.95 a month for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This top-tier plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you'll save over 50% every month for the rest of your life. You might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer expires 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes, and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
The news and talk I can trust. Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10 on Extra 106.3. We want you to feel as cool as this song. Low by Cracker from the Kerosene Hat record. I don't know what year. 93 maybe. Just a guess.
Look it up. I feel like a 94 I'm going to go with.
All right, let's see.
Because we're also in the era of Sandra Bernhardt. And if you remember her as a comedian, she was in the video. He's boxing her, and she whoops him.
August of 93, almost 94.
I may be way off on this. Is she the one in Ace Ventura, the first one?
No, that was Lauren Holly, wasn't it?
All right, I'm way off.
No.
Neither?
No, Lauren Holly is in Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber. That's right. Ace Ventura. I don't remember if she's at Ace Ventura or not.
She's not the detective, the Finkel and Einhorn?
No. No, that's not Sandra Bernhardt.
Way off.
She had like the gap between her teeth.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And she was...
you're thinking about Sean Young.
Kind of abrasive, but in a cool way. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
she was the it lady for those playing on the other side of the field.
Without a doubt. Dude, I'm talking home run hitter. That way. But that's the way we want you to feel when you listen to the show. Just like a cool Cracker song rolling down 20 or 75 or 85 or 400 on the loop of death, 285. Where?
Sandra Bernhardt's now 70.
She's 70?
She's 70.
No way. I would have never, I don't know why I wouldn't have guessed it, but I would not have guessed that.
Well, she was boxing in 1993 in a music video.
Well, yeah, no, I remember, but wow. I would have, I don't know why. Isn't it weird how age is one of those things that she's still stuck in 1993 for me, right in my head.
She didn't age beyond 1990, Sandra Bernhardt.
But doesn't that happen for a lot of...
when people, you don't see them for 30 years.
Yeah, when's the last time you saw her? Besides today. I mean, probably 93.
Sometime in the 90s, yeah.
Exactly. When's the last time you talked about her? She's frozen in time.
I've done enough radio to never have brought up Sandra Bernhardt until this very moment.
Until today. That's how cool we are, and that's how cool you are for joining us.
You're driving around going, so she was boxing in a video? I'm like, yeah.
You'll go Google that later. www.
She shows up to whoop butt in the black and white video.
That's right. So cool. But that's the way we want you to feel when you're rolling into town, rolling into the office, and listening to Extra 106.3. It's even better when you're apart at 404-741-1230 at Extra 106.3 across the social media platforms. So much fun to hear from you, whether digitally on social, text even occasionally, or on the phone. But we have fun on the show.
Yeah, Tug actually told me during the break I have to write down my top 5 women who are not interested in men who have aged well.
Yeah, that's right. And there's quite a list. I mean, Lowe's had to tell me that Jillian Michaels had no interest in me. And
no interest in you.
I'm a happily married man, but I can't help it. You see a lovely lady and you're like, wow, man, she's stunning.
But you were shocked at that moment. You were like, what?
Idea.
And I was like, yeah.
And I had no idea. And still, I think she's stunning. It doesn't change the fact that I think she's a beautiful woman.
I think she will age well. She takes care of herself.
She does, yeah. Well, she's super healthy. But that's been her thing is fitness. I saw a video, and had Twitter not been acting all crazy, or X had not been acting all crazy this morning, I would have been able to watch it. I got like the first minute and a half of a 8-minute conversation between her and Victor David Hansen about Jesus. They were talking. She didn't realize that there were historical evidence of Jesus as a person. She thought it was just from biblical points of view.
That's one of the most well-documented things in all of human history.
Absolutely right.
By a multitude of different religions.
Yeah, the Roman Empire, the Romans really documented because they were really nervous about him.
Right.
And that was some of the discussion that she was going into with Victor David Hansen, and you could just see the interest, the intrigue that she had. And then, of course, Twitter pooped out, and I've not got to see the rest of it. I can't wait till it...
Well, really, from the historical context, there's not anyone that we have, again, from a multitude of sources.
That's right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, there are people that we know a lot about, but it's written from one source, their people, their histories. Jesus is covered through a multitude of different histories, a multitude of different cultures, and it's just a matter of, are you covering him as a man, or do you think he's Son of God?
Right.
And
he was covered both ways.
He's covered both ways throughout, but he was a historical figure during the time that was well documented.
They and some people called him, Victor David Hansen, I did see this part, some people called him a magician because he was able to make miracles.
Right, like he was David Copperfield of
exactly
of that era.
Of the ancient world.
He too made a dinosaur appear on stage.
That's amazing. Look at here. I obviously believe him to be the Son of God and the Messiah and the Savior, as a Christian. But I'm fascinated by those other ways that he was interpreted, the ones we're talking about, and the way he described it. Because I didn't know about the whole magician thing. I didn't know about that perspective.
That was the explanation that other people had to have for these miracles they were witnessing.
He fed 5,000. I'm not sure what kind of magic he's doing. But he's able to make things happen that other people.
Well, that's cool that Jillian Michaels was going down that road.
It was, and you could just see the intrigue. Like I said before it all cut off. You could see the intrigue in her face.
Now they're going to have to get X back so you can...
I know. You're having the same issue. It's not just me.
Oh, no. It's down. But now you're going to have to Paul Harvey this thing. Get to the rest of the story later today.
Dude, was there anybody better? Did you listen to Paul Harvey growing up?
Sure. The country station that my parents listened to when I was growing up had Paul Harvey in the morning.
Yep.
And then Paul Harvey in the afternoon.
That's right. The rest of the story.
And so I would hear the morning portion every day riding to school, and I'd only get the rest of the story very rarely now and then.
Yeah, but when you heard it.
But when you heard it and you heard both ends, first off, that meant I got out of school a little bit early.
Yeah, that's a good
That meant I didn't have a practice. That meant it was good. Like, it was a good day. Like, we're going to Whataburger.
Dude, I loved Paul Harvey. I don't know that there's a voice that's more prominent from my childhood than Paul Harvey, because he was always on the radio, and it didn't matter if it was WBLJ, little news talker in Dalton, Georgia, or if it was a big country station somewhere, because you're right, country stations always played Paul Harvey too. It was just very wholesome. Everything he talked about was wholesome. I mean, we've played it on here before. When he said, if I were going to try to take down humanity, this is the way I would do it. And just the common sense genius of Paul Harvey.
So at the height, he was syndicated on 1,200 radio stations.
Good heavens. You figure Rush was what, 600?
I think he had like 500-600.
Yeah, like at his prime.
At his height.
And Paul Harvey, 1,200.
Paul Harvey's just doubling it.
Dude, he was one of a kind. And I'll tell you another guy that reminds me of him, and his podcast is very similar to that too. I listen to it every other week or so. And they're just 10 minutes long, and that's Mike Rowe.
Okay.
The way I heard it. And they're about 10 or 12 minutes. And Mike Rowe fashions them the way Paul Harvey did it. He was so inspired by Paul Harvey, he wanted to have something like that. He wanted to create something like that, and his stories are incredible. He gives you the entire story of a person, and then in the last 15 seconds tells you who the person is.
I really hope that because we have Neil Bortz coming up this hour, I really hope Neil gives us a story in the last 30 seconds and then makes us wait a week to fulfill it.
To figure out to pay it off, to figure out who it is.
That way you'll get the rest of the story.
With Neil Bortz. Good day.
Neil Bortz, good day.
That's right. Just steal his line. I love it. Since we're doing flashbacks, let's flash back real quick to a guy that we all love. Guy that has influenced so many generations of Americans. Influenced me and Los, and I would imagine Neil Bortz to a degree as well. This is El Rushbo, the late, great Rush Limbaugh.
I thought this was Pol Pot, because I found that out about you last week.
Oh, well, no.
You're the Pol Pot of country radio.
Yeah, not in this instance. Not right here, but later, yes.
He rules with an iron fist, y'all.
Slamming my hands down on the table, slapping the table. You will listen. You will do it this way. Just a bunch of hollering. No, it was Rush Limbaugh and his dislike for liberals. And he explains why, at the time, to a name you may recognize, she was a pretty big deal there for a little while, Paula Zahn.
What is the problem you have with liberals?
Well, they're wrong. They are dangerous. Liberals, I believe, have destroyed or in the process of destroying the culture of this country. If you look at what the liberal prescriptions for welfare, they have only expanded the number of people that are on welfare rolls. Liberalism destroys individual lives. Liberalism creates dependency on purpose. Liberalism operates in the guise of wanting to help people, but it actually condemns them to dependency.
I want to go back to the issue.
It is the opposite of compassion. And they own this compassion. They think they've got a monopoly on it, and there's nothing compassionate about liberalism. It hurts people. It harms them. And they don't even know it.
That is correct. It couldn't have been described more perfectly than by Rush Limbaugh right there. We talk about it all the time, how it's not the results that they want to be judged by. It is all about, my intention was good.
Well, I think people are finding out a lot about this as we're now in the early enrollment period.
Boy, howdy.
I think Obamacare has soured. It's now become a bad word. And it's largely become a bad word with people that have been able to take advantage of it. People that went into the marketplace and felt like they were getting affordable health care for the first several years. And then the avalanche of costs that were coming down the pike that were always designed to, but I think were accelerated by what we went through with COVID, where suddenly you didn't have people that were capable of paying into the system in the same way because they weren't at work. And so the subsidies had to be there. And once the subsidies dried up, now you saw the real cost of this. And I think that is where, again, the liberals don't even recognize they're hurting themselves. Like, there are people that voted for thinking, like, this is a great idea. But we always told you for the better part of 15 years, this is the only way it ends.
Okay. Well, they would tell you also that free everything is a really good idea.
It's a great idea, right?
Socialism sounds great. I mean, free everything. Free grocery stores, free rent, free health care. Everything is free. It's wonderful. It's a great idea. But practically speaking, it doesn't work. It sounds good, but it ain't ever going to work.
Well, it's a danger because of the ignorance of history.
No kidding. 170 million people killed under socialism and communism and Marxism.
It's just what happens when you enable these programs. If there's something, and I know it's not a bad word with me, but it's a bad word for all those out there, your Aunt Pegs all get upset. Founding Fathers.
Mm-hmm.
The Founding Fathers, were there slave owners? Yeah. Hey, that was the times. You have an iPhone. It's built by slave labor. Let's not act like
right
you're
now.
Suddenly like holier than thou. You own a person. Listen, all your stuff is built by slave labor in China. Okay, let's settle down with that. Let's just take that and put it aside. The thing that the Founding Fathers fully understood was the corruptibility of man, and how, when given on a scale, when there's a balance of power, there's protection against man. There's protection from man. When that scale gets out of whack, no matter what, the history of the world is tyranny. That freedom is extremely limited in terms of its historical context. You had it in Rome for a while. You were going to have it here. You've had it in Western Europe. Look how quickly that the rest of the world urinates that away.
If you want to talk
tyranny's always been the way of the world.
And if you need it, I will give you the place to research it probably better than any other. The most sold book on the face of the earth. We started talking about Jesus. In the Bible, it talks about the corruptibility of the heart, the corruptibility of the soul. It tells you how bad man is. And we all have that. We all have whatever that
well, there's a yearning for power.
Sin nature, I think it would be called in the Bible.
Yes, because everyone always starts with, I'm going to be holier than thou. I'm going to do it right. I'm of pure heart.
That's right.
And the problem is the power, and then
it's corrupting.
The fear. When I say the fear, it's who's coming for my power.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people get paranoid. And so much of the design of what we had in this country was to understand we have to be protected from the urges of man. And when liberals, and this is where Rush says they're dangerous, it's because they don't recognize how corruptible man is.
Yeah.
They never do. It's the ignorance of history.
Or they're just fine with it because they think they can use that for their own stepping stone, their own platform.
Every tyrant always does.
Isn't it? That's exactly right.
In the course of history, no matter what.
And it's never going to change. Ever. It's never going to change. This is the Morning Extra at Extra 106.3. Backfires. All kinds of things in life backfire. Socialism in New York is going to backfire. It's not going to work. But it doesn't matter if they're going to try it anyway. And that's exactly what the Biden administration and the DOJ did when it came to Donald Trump and maybe the biggest political backfire of all time, Los.
I'm really hoping, because that is the mugshot in modern times is the biggest political backfire in the history of this country. Like, you'll have some scenarios where things changed, something didn't work out, but to think if we just arrest Donald Trump in Atlanta,
that'll fix it.
We'll get a mugshot. It's like, are you kidding? Like it shot up all of his poll numbers. He was dead in the water. He was dead even with Ron DeSantis, and then suddenly he was 20 to 30 points ahead because of that. I'm really hoping that everything I believe is coming down when it comes to the Epstein files ends up being that next one, where the Democrats, because of what they've done, because of even having Epstein texting members of Congress,
it's unreal,
during a session and feeding them information. Hakeem Jeffries got asked about that last night. He had no answer.
Well,
It was pure panic of like,
Of course. How do you respond to that other than to say it is wrong? She should be expelled from Congress. Because that, you know what that does? They try to pin a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein on Donald Trump all the time. When now we have almost real time stamped on the actual text messages that we have a real time relationship happening with Jeffrey Epstein with Democrats.
Yeah.
That's what you have.
And so Polymarket, a number of the other betting sites out there now have it as a 98% chance that these files will be released. Again, I will see if that actually
and then
happens.
How much is not redacted?
But if it actually does, I believe this is going to be a backfire. Now, will it be mugshot backfire? No. But is this going to be that moment where the Democrats and people in leadership go, we fought so hard,
and
we didn't know what was there?
And it screwed us.
It's like the attorney that asks a question he doesn't know the answer to. It's like it's like fundamental of trial law.
You would never
ask a question you don't know the answer to. That's what they're doing. Yeah. Like, I'm looking for the backfire.
Yeah. Let's see if it happens. Because, I mean, if what we think is there, how many high-profile Hollywood people, how many high-profile business people, how many high-profile politicians? I mean, it's alleged that Bill Clinton did some awful things. Do we know that? Nope. But is there probably some smoke there that would lead you to think there may be some fire? Yeah. If you all you have to do is think, you'd probably recognize it. Neil Bortz, the Talkmaster, is up next on Extra 106.3.
President Trump is restoring freedom, bringing justice back to America, and restoring power to the people. And the conservative voice of Atlanta has his back and will always bring you the national and local voices you need when it matters most. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Hey Atlanta, it's Mark from Atlanta Safe House. We have an important announcement. We've moved to a new location to serve you better. That's right, Atlanta Safe House has moved to a new location in Alpharetta. So come check out the largest selection of safes in the Southeast. Brands include Browning, Fort Knox, Champion, and many more. So stop by the showroom today or go to atlantasafehouse.com. And remember, at Atlanta Safe House, we don't just sell safes, we sell peace of mind.
This is Window Nation, your source for affordable replacement windows at the highest quality. So if you've got old, drafty, sticking, or leaking windows, you need the experienced pros at Window Nation. You can pay a lot less and still get the premium windows you're dreaming of. Their custom windows are guaranteed to be a perfect fit, and they're backed by the best warranty in the industry. Go to getwindownation.com or call 866-90Nation for your free estimate. And for a limited time, get 50% off all window styles, plus pay no interest for 5 years.
Thousands of veterans across Georgia are missing out on the benefits they've earned through their service. The Warrior Alliance is changing that by connecting veterans and their families to life-changing resources and support. Tune into the Warrior Alliance Network, our podcast and radio show dedicated to helping veterans succeed after service. Join us every Saturday at 11 a.m. on 106.3 to hear inspiring veteran stories, discover free programs, and learn about career opportunities available to you. Subscribe to the Warrior Alliance YouTube channel today.
Hi, it's Los, here with Tom Mitchell, the Honest Car Guy. Tom, you are changing the way people are buying their next pre-owned car or truck. How are you doing?
At the Honest Car Guy, the entire process is completely transparent. You pay what we pay plus our honest fee, and we even prove it by giving you a copy of the bill of sale. We can sell you any make, any year, any model, and at the Honest Car Guy, you'll save an average of $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the price of the car.
Folks, if you want to save thousands on your next pre-owned car or truck, call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or honestcarguy.com.
It's Fox Wheels.
Data from S&P Global Mobility shows new electric vehicle registrations soared 51% in September from a year earlier as buyers scrambled to claim the $7,500 tax credit before it expired. Then while major automakers are restructuring over billions of dollars in EV losses, Toyota is announcing a $10 billion investment in an EV battery plant in North Carolina in what the automaker calls a pivotal moment in Toyota's history. We're told once at full capacity, the North Carolina plant will produce 30 gigawatt hours of lithium-ion batteries annually to power Toyota's lineup of hybrid, plug-in hybrid, and fully electric vehicles. Alongside the plant's launch, Toyota also announcing an additional $10 billion investment in its operations over the next 5 years, it says, to support future mobility efforts. That's Fox Wheels. I'm Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
This is House Call for Health. It's World Antimicrobial Awareness Week. The World Health Organization says antimicrobial resistance happens when bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites no longer respond to antimicrobial agents. Because of that drug resistance, antibiotics and other medicines become ineffective, and infections become tough or impossible to beat. That means an increased risk of disease spread, severe illness, and death. This year's global campaign theme is Act Now, Protect Our Present, Secure Our Future. And it underscores the need to take bold, united action to address the problem because it harms health, food systems, the environment, and economies. WHO says this call to action urges all stakeholders, including governments, society, healthcare providers, veterinarians, farmers, and political commitments into tangible and life-saving interventions to keep antimicrobials effective and build a healthier, more sustainable world. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Tuesday, November 18th. The FBI seized thousands of kilos of meth hidden in boxes of jalapenos imported from Mexico in North Georgia. The bust is part of Operation Take Back America by the FBI. 12 suspects were arrested and have pled guilty to drug trafficking charges. Several of those arrested were Mexican nationals. Officials say they have ties to Mexican drug cartels. The state of Georgia is rolling out more than $42 million in grants to help combat the opioid crisis. The funding comes from multiple national opioid lawsuit settlements. It'll reach 109 projects across the state. Programs receiving funding focus on early intervention and prevention, recovery, workforce training, and housing. And the city of Alpharetta voted to approve a tax allocation for the redevelopment of the North Point Mall. A recent study proposes that the site be redeveloped for about 2,600 residential housing units and nearly 3 million square feet of commercial space, including retail, hotels, and office space. Today's weather partly cloudy with a high of 73 degrees. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10, the moment that we wait for with bated breath every time we get a chance to talk to Neil Bortz on Extra 106.3. We got a big smile on our face, and Neil is all down. Neil, what's up?
What a BS artist.
Hell.
I know. I sit next to him all the time. I'm like, he's so full of it.
That's not true. We always love talking to you.
Every single time he says that, Neil, he's winking at me.
Okay, you want my Paul Harvey story?
Yes, been waiting for that.
Yeah, well, it's not mine. It's just what some radio friend did to Paul Harvey.
Okay.
Well, not to Paul Harvey, but used. You mentioned
hide his wig.
Yeah, it triggered this. Hey, listen, I had a powdered wig.
Oh no.
Yeah. As an I was in Newcastle upon Tyne, in England, UK, one time, and I was staying in the home of a Crown Court judge.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah, tell this for the audience. It's been a few years. Yeah.
And he said, "You want to go to work with me today?" I said, "Sure." And we got to his chambers, and he was sitting on a case involving terrorism in Northern Ireland. They had arrested somebody in Newcastle, and he said, "I want you to sit on the bench with me." I said, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "You're going to be one of the judges. I have the power to appoint you as one of the judges to decide this case." So there I was, sitting on a Crown Court bench in Newcastle, England, wearing a powdered wig, keeping my mouth shut. Anyway, I brought the powdered wig home with me to Atlanta, and it was seized by a Superior Court judge named Clyde Henley in DeKalb County, who wore it on the bench for a while.
Can you imagine rolling into that courtroom? Dude's got the powdered wig on.
He's got my wig.
What in the world?
I loved Clyde Henley because he would say, "People do not come into my courtroom looking for justice. They come here looking for mercy."
Wow. Buddy.
And one time he pulled out a taser and tased somebody from the bench.
Goodness gracious.
Geez.
Dude, powdered wigs, tasing people from the bench.
That is street
and
justice.
Not only that, but before he was elected a judge, he had a conviction for armed robbery.
What? Dude, what in the world? Paul Harvey, yes.
Paul Harvey. Good day. Anyway, at one particular radio station, I have to protect these people.
Yes, right.
Statute may not have run yet.
Gotcha.
But this one news anchor just got really perturbed with the endings in Paul Harvey. Paul Harvey. Good day.
I love that.
So the guys at the station one time took the recording for the day, Paul Harvey's whatever it was, and they separated the good day. So they got the end of the Paul Harvey's bit, and he said, "Paul Harvey," and they just sat there, and the seconds started clicking by and clicking by, and this poor news anchor is just waiting for the good day, clicking by, clicking by. Finally, the news anchor just got, fed up, tired, and he opened his mouth to say it, and at that moment, to talk, and at that moment, they hit the button for good day.
I know it's a radio trick, and maybe it doesn't translate for everyone.
No, it doesn't.
But it is awesome when you pull that stuff off. I mean, Neil, for years, when we would have a new guy that would come in to the sports radio station to do a sports update, that sports update, the music bed, would run like a minute 5. So you had like 1 minute to hit your sports update and read your commercial. We'd cut it down to like 35 seconds. and so they'd be right in the middle of a story, and then suddenly like, "Oh, no, having to finish up really quickly."
And then there's the old garbage can in the corner trick. I know you've done that one.
Garbage can in the corner? I don't believe I have.
No, it's very simple. You go into, if you have a news booth, or you can do this to Jerry or whatever, news booth in the a garbage can in the corner, and while the guy is reading the news, you walk in and you're hiding a little glass of water. You walk over to the garbage can in the corner, and the news anchor hears this zip, and then you start slowly pouring the water into the garbage can.
Oh, yeah. You can't really hide that one.
No. I mean, you've got your back to him. You're just pouring water into the garbage can. But
it would sound like somebody was using the restroom.
Yeah. And for my next comment about you talking about attorneys, and it's true, you do not ask a question you do not know the answer to.
Of course, that's 101, and I know nothing about law and the legal system, but I know that.
Well, so there's this guy that was accused of mayhem.
Oh, is he on an Allstate commercial?
No.
Oh,
he's the Allstate guy. They got him finally.
Mayhem had, or may still have, a rather definite definition. It is depriving somebody of a part of their body. Like biting off a finger.
Yeah.
Okay, that's me. At any rate, so the attorney, he's the prosecutor is after this guy that is accused of mayhem, and he's feeling really cocky, and he says, "Did you actually see?" Actually, it's a defense attorney, not a prosecutor. "Did you actually see my client bite the victim's ear off?" And the witness said, "No." Well, that's where you shut up.
Wow.
That's where the defense attorney shuts up, because your main witness, you just had him say, "No, I did not see your client bite this man's ear off." And so the attorney just had to try to seal the deal. "Then why did you testify that you saw him bite the ear off?" And the attorney, the witness says, "Well, because I saw him spit it out."
Oh.
Don't ask that question.
Yeah.
You walked right into that one.
You went from a win to a loss in just by asking one question.
Breakneck speed.
That you did not know the answer to.
Boy, howdy, that's tough there.
Hey guys, why is Michelle Obama so in our face lately?
Yeah, is this another book tour? Like, how is she doing this where she's just espousing her hatred for America once again?
I mean, it's just day after day. America's not ready for a female president. Maybe America's not ready for a trans president.
There we go.
Boy, we brought out the big gun all of a sudden.
But, I mean, she is...
Well, so did she.
Yeah. No, she didn't bring out the big guns.
By the way, Neil...
She would tuck the big guns.
How did this start? Because I believe this was about 3 years ago when I was driving down to Florida. My wife and I were looking for a conversation, and I started getting into, hey, do you know that there's a lot of discussion about Michelle Obama being a man? And... by the time that my wife basically shooed me off and like, okay, whatever, you're being silly, it took like another year. And then people within the black community were talking about Mr. and Mr. Obama. So I don't know when, like, it got started a few years ago, but it's now become a lot more mainstream to even joke like this.
Well, I think it's fun.
Oh, I agree. It's hilarious.
Neil, my mama.
But does it hurt?
Neil, I call mama on the way home from work every day. Just to check in, make sure everything's good. And one day, she was like, she calls me Jerry. She didn't call me Tug. She said, Jerry, why do they call Michelle Obama Mike? And I was like, oh, mama.
Oh, God,
mama.
Here we go.
Exactly. I was like, well, and then I tried to explain. But that's...
Jerry, why did I hear she's registered as a man to vote?
I'm telling you, that's when that question, when it's made it to that level, that means everybody. My mama is not plugged. She doesn't really do social media. She doesn't do any of that stuff. And when it's made it to that level, that has become something that is, part of the culture, part of the lexicon of discussion.
And there's some great memes that make their way to the internet.
Yes, there
now
are.
Based on, in fact, on the internet recently, some of my big hits on the internet over the weekend is Bose headphones. Have you seen that one?
No. What is that?
Yeah, Bose is marketing a new set of noise-canceling headphones for Christmas.
Well, that sounds good.
Yeah, it just blanks out any noise from Mariah Carey.
Oh, all right. I'm glad you're on board with this. I had talked about it. I'm not a hater of Christmas music. I really am not. But as soon as All I Want for Christmas Is You, that's like the quickest tune out, along with Paul McCartney.
Oh, God.
Simply heaven. I'm like, immediately, I'm out.
I mean, I would, you could put Mariah Carey on a loop to keep me from listening to Simply Happy.
Thank you.
What a horrible. Of course, the worst song in the history of published music is Imagine.
Yes, agreed. Hear, hear. Only communists like Imagine.
Oh, I know it. It's just a horrible song. Okay, some other little items that are on my radar today. It's a good thing that I'm not still on the air for a number of reasons.
Wait, so let me get this straight. We'll catch the backlash. Neil's good.
He's gonna roll to the golf course and won't be here getting punished in the corner office.
Have there ever been complaints?
Well,
I mean, put it this way: not from management, and ownership.
Yeah, right. Once in a while from a listener or two.
But yeah, I know there's an email address, Neil Bortz or something like that. Of course, nobody's ever showed me how to access that email, so there might be a few emails there that I.
Neil, that's hey, from now on, and again, because you're retired and you get to live the good life. The suggestion of stay out of the comment section, it's a good way to be. You never know what people are saying about
who cares?
it. Exactly. Because you only care what you think about it. That's how all of us operate.
Not only me, Donna.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But the people that are important to you.
Oh, God, thank you for for Donna never listening to my talk show.
Yeah. That's same with me. My wife doesn't listen to. She's never listened.
She never listened. And I would not have been the same talk show host if Donna was listening. I don't care if I offend your wife. I'm not going to offend mine.
Happy wife, happy life. I've heard that before.
Okay, now looking in the future, we have Iran. Now they have captured another tanker on the high seas, the Straits of Hormuz. And, Trump is the kind of president that might get together with Saudi Arabia and decide we're not going to put up with this. So I'm just predicting, but we're going to see if I turn out to be right. And that is that these Muslim pirates capture these ships off the coast of Somalia, sometimes Yemen, by sending a bunch of small boats, and I don't know how they get away with this, loaded with these terrorists who somehow board the ship and take it over. Now, how do you fight them? Well, you blow the small boats out of the water.
That's right. Kind of like Venezuela.
Yeah, and Trump may, he's the kind of guy that said, look, to his fleet over there, if you see some small boats that are approaching a tanker or a ship, and they're armed people on them, blow them out of the water. And as soon as they do, as soon as Trump pulls that off, my prediction is that the New York Times, other Democrat newspapers are going to say that Trump is murdering these fishermen who will never go home to their families again because of Trump's bloodthirsty attitude.
Yeah, and I wasn't aware how many people are fishing on speedboats that are trying to get across the ocean at what time? What would you guess? Like 30
knots or something?
Yeah. No, 60.
60?
Around 60.
Okay. Yeah. There you go.
They're after them fast fish.
Yeah, apparently so. Everything's moving that fast across the ocean.
And I'll tell you, because Los and I talked about this yesterday when I was in the Navy and you were trying to navigate through the Straits of Gibraltar, say. There's just hundreds and hundreds of boats all around. Guess what? None of them are doing that fast. None of them, and that's the highest concentration of boats that at least I ever saw.
So I want to go through the Straits of Gibraltar sometime.
Yeah, you should. It's amazing. It really is remarkable.
I got on a ship one time in Barcelona, but we went in the other direction.
Okay, got it. Back out into the Atlantic.
And Barcelona, by the way, has lost its love affair with tourists.
Reckon why?
Oh, because we can be real jerks.
Well, okay. Well, that makes sense then.
No, well, in America, I remember one time, and I opened my big mouth. I was at a train station somewhere in Europe, and they have posters of that murderous Che Guevara all over the place.
Yuck.
Okay.
Yuck.
So I went up to buy a magazine or something like that. I said, "Oh, Che Guevara, huh?" And the guy said, "Oh, you're an American."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In other words, only Americans recognize what a murderous SOB that guy was, rapist. They just had this worship of Che Guevara. We need a new word. Maybe on the show you could ask people at some time. We need a new word. In Great Britain now, the BBC, they insist that if sometimes if somebody's accused of rape, all of a sudden they become a trans woman.
Oh, of course. That's how you get away with that.
Yeah, that's part of their defense. I'm a trans woman. And BBC will go right along with this. They'll now, if somebody is claimed to be a woman who is not, and they're accused of rape, the BBC will go ahead and report it as a woman committing rape.
That's insanity.
And the BBC apparently is afraid of being called transphobic if they actually report the true gender of this person. And the word phobic, from phobia, a phobia is a irrational fear. But now we got homophobic and transphobic and all this. There is no such thing as an irrational fear of a mentally ill man who suddenly decides that he's a woman.
Yeah, it's not irrational.
Like, I get it.
It's not irrational at all.
I have a fear of heights, and it is irrational, and it will make me do things that are completely crazy. Trans people don't do this to me.
No.
But yet, that's the word that always get attached to it, Neil. It's phobic. Like, as suddenly you'll start reacting in a way that no time else would you ever do that.
Well, I'm looking for a new word to replace phobic. And I can't come up with them. Maybe it's because I'm old.
I would, let's see. How would I say it? I would say this. I'm trans aware.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
like, I noticed.
Yeah.
Like, that's a man.
Yeah, it's very obvious.
How about trans disgusted?
Well, that would work. For
sometimes.
Some people.
I mean,
how bad is your fear of heights?
As I've gotten older, I find that I irrationally want to get out of the plane, even when it's in flight.
Oh.
I also, when I get into a higher building, I find myself getting dizzy if I look out the window.
Yeah.
Stuff like that it never used to bother me.
I've started with that same thing. Like, if you're on like a high level of something, and you just, let me give you an example. I just went on the top of the roof of our house just to dust off the leaves and all that, and it's not that high up. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm uneasy. First time in my life that happened.
I share this with you guys. I'm so bad that I can be watching TV and it'll show somebody walking along a high ledge and my knees start getting weak.
Yeah, dude, that's irrational, I think.
Yeah, of course it's this is sports you're talking to.
They call it Mr. Irrational.
At any rate, when I was flying hot air balloons, okay? Now you're in a basket, and the edge of that basket probably is maybe 42 inches or so. But I would be at 8,000 feet flying a hot air balloon, and I would sit up on the edge of the basket.
Wow.
To give my passengers more room.
Okay.
And so, I look over my shoulder, and it's 8,000 feet straight down to the ground. But I wouldn't be afraid. I'd not have that acrophobia thing. And I really started reading about this, and one of the things you need to really trigger that fear of heights is a ground reference. You need some sort of a reference from you to the ground. If you're in a hot air balloon, there is no ground reference. You're here, the ground's there. Big deal. But I remember one time I took a photographer from Channel 5 on a balloon flight. And the wind, tell Jerry to go to the restroom. The wind was perfect for me to fly him right over the Channel 5 studios. And so I did. I gauged the wind direction, up, down, this way, that way, and flew right over the top of their antenna. I guess maybe I was 20 feet over the top of that statute is run also. I was maybe 10 feet over the top of their antenna, and let me tell you, when that basket approached the antenna, and all of a sudden I had that reference from the top of the antenna all the way to the ground, I almost wet myself.
Woo, Neil, boy.
Scared me. So,
oh, gosh, yes. I totally get it.
I hear the Muslim call to prayer.
That's Huey Lewis. What are you talking about?
That's breakfast time.
That's right. No question.
Okay, well, I didn't get into profiling in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Well, tease it for next week.
Yeah.
And then
this is the Paul Harvey version.
And why I'm not going to subscribe to the AJC, because I don't care about young Giroux. We'll get into those later.
All right, then. Neil Boards.
Tea time.
That's right. Talkmaster.
Swing them straight.
Only place you get them. Extra 1063. When we come back, the darkest side of the Pennsylvania Trump shooter. Next on Extra.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to Extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Tuesday, November 18th. From the NBA, the Detroit Pistons are now 12-2 and leading the Eastern Conference as they show up to State Farm Arena tonight to take on the 9-5 Atlanta Hawks. The Pistons are on the second game of a back-to-back. The Hawks coming off a very successful West Coast road trip and rested. Tip-off is set for 7:30. The next round of the college football playoff rankings will be out tonight. Georgia looking to move into that top four. The reveal is set for 8:30, and the Atlanta Falcons will be without quarterback Michael Penix Jr. for what looks like the remainder of the season. Penix suffered a partially torn ACL in his knee, and the Falcons lost to the Carolina Panthers. Kirk Cousins takes over as the starter. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
You don't have all that long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Less than 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks to get nominated or nominate someone for the Southern Exteriors siding remodel. They've teamed up with James Hardy, the best siding that you can get for your home. Someone will have their entire siding remodeled. It could be up to $30,000, depending on the size of your house. But how do you nominate somebody? That's the first question, right? You go to southernexteriors.co, southernexteriors.co, and top left corner, you'll see Christmas giveaway in red. Click on that. Go fill out the quick information boxes on how we get a hold of you and who you're nominating. Maybe it's somebody you go to church with, maybe it's somebody you work with, somebody you were in the military with, or just a family member for that matter. Maybe it's you. Doesn't matter who it is. But nominate someone for this great giveaway because someone will be able to have this done just in time for the Christmas holiday season.
Maybe it's somebody who owes you a favor.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, yeah, it could be that.
You want him to owe you more favors.
That's right. You could then, yes, if you owe somebody, maybe you register them there. It's probably not a bad idea.
Maybe it's an old widow woman.
Could be that. That actually makes a lot of sense, Los. It does. Wait, Los, what am I talking about? You're like the ghost of Christmas past or something.
Do something good for someone.
Do it now at southernexteriors.co. I mean, they're giving away a free remodel for James Hardy siding. Why would
Who is Los, by the way?
Sorry, Christmas past. I didn't mean to mislabel you there. It was an accident, complete accident. But I'm sure glad you're here to help me remind people to go to southernexteriors.co before December 1st to get registered now. That James Hardy siding giveaway, southernexteriors.co, southernexteriors.co.
Better get right, Kimmer.
Ho, ho, holy cow. Family and friends are coming for the holidays, and you need some projects done around the house before they arrive. Relax. We've got you covered. Hi, I'm Chris Lalamia from the Trusted Toolbox. With our handyman for a day deal, we can knock out all those projects you've been putting off for months. From plumbing issues and painting to flooring, fencing, trim work, and much, much more. So get your home ready for the holidays and call us at 770-623-3097, or you can always book it online at thetrustedtoolbox.com.
Don't believe this nonsense you see on TV commercials about how uncomfortable a CPAP mask is. Take it from me. You wear one, especially the nasal pillow I use, for one night, and you will fight anybody that tries to take it away from you. But if they do take it away from you, you can get more at cpapsetc.com, cpapsetc.com, with a store in Alpharetta, same-day shipping. To your health, cpapsetc.com.
Hey, this is Matt from East Cobb. We basically bought our house from our in-laws. It was my wife's childhood home. One of the issues that we've had when we first moved in was our dog in our backyard. It was extremely shaded, could never grow grass back there. We resodded it twice. So ATL Turf Co. did an amazing job with our backyard transformation. They basically created a miniature golf hole. We have a miniature fairway. We also have a miniature little putting green. consists of about 4 holes, total about 40 yards. So you can definitely work on your short game and your putting. After that transformation that ATL Turf Co. did for us, my father-in-law came and saw his house the way it looked after the fact of we had a putting green and a miniature golf course. Sure enough, he did the same thing with ATL Turf Co. He has a beautiful backyard, wonderful stonework, drainage, and a beautiful practice area for chipping and putting. Check him out online at atlturfco.com.
Experience luxury like never before behind the wheel of a brand new Cadillac from Jim Ellis Cadillac.
From the iconic Escalade to the innovative electric Lyric, Jim Ellis Cadillac offers the models you know and love, along with the latest in luxury EVs.
And the buying experience just as luxurious as the Cadillac name itself. With great prices, a great selection, and a team of knowledgeable sales associates, you'll love shopping at their showroom conveniently located on Peachtree Boulevard, just inside the perimeter.
Prefer to shop from home? Visit JimEllisCadillac.com, where you can browse all the latest offers and even start or complete your entire purchase online with the Jim Ellis Expressway.
Want to try before you buy? Schedule an at-home test drive and enjoy the convenience of home vehicle delivery. Luxury is waiting. Experience it today at Jim Ellis Cadillac. Jim Ellis Cadillac, where you can always expect the best.
As the left's agenda continues to fail, the whining will only continue to get louder.
I will not stop today. I will not stop tomorrow.
Meanwhile, Extra 106.3 will continue to be the conservative voice of Atlanta. Support our veterans and first responders and be the voice of your community when it matters most. Proud to be the conservative voice of Atlanta. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra. On Extra 106.3, it's probably better that you don't hear some of the conversations that we have when the mics are off and no one's in here and we can be sinister.
I'm going to text some people and just see what they think of this idea.
And we are sinister sometimes.
Because we want to have... So we've got some really cool stuff that's going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Like the Southern Exteriors giveaway is a big deal.
Yes, huge. It's amazing.
And what was it? December 1st. Got to get that in.
That's right.
Nominate somebody.
SouthernExteriors.co.
Put yourself down. See if you can get that free siding job that's going to be over the entirety of your home. It's a great deal. We also started thinking about what if we had a Christmas promotion that we had going on throughout the whole month. And so we're trying to figure one out.
Yeah.
It might be just a little crazy, but I don't know. We're just seeing. We're throwing some ideas around.
Like, does Santa Claus make it to town?
Exactly. But what if it was, does Kimmer make it to town
for Christmas?
For Christmas,
yeah.
Santa Kimmer.
Because I don't know where he's going.
Right, I don't know where he's going either. He always talks about it because he had an open invitation from Flounder to come to his Thanksgiving. I think he rejected it. I was going to invite Kimmer, but because I'm closer, so we'll see what happens. Maybe I can talk him into it. But then what is he going to do for Christmas? Is he going to make it to town?
Because a lot of times I think he goes down to Florida to see
the fam.
Yeah. Maybe one of his favorite ex-wives.
Okay.
And his daughters, I think, are
he
down
does
there.
have a favorite, right?
Well, he always says he does.
Yeah, he has his favorite. Yes.
Yeah. So does he make it down there? For Christmas.
For Christmas.
Yeah.
Or will he possibly show up at Tug Manor?
Yes, I would love to have him.
See if that happens. So we're throwing around some ideas. We'll see what happens. And it'll be a countdown.
Yeah, because everybody's counting. This time of year, everybody's counting down to something,
everyone's just trying to get...
You're counting the days to Christmas.
I was looking at the schedule for what I have remaining to work this year. I started that today. I'm like, I'm counting it down. I'm looking at the calendar.
I know you got...
I got the calendar printed over here. I'm marking things too. I'm like, let's see how much more we got here.
That's right. So will Kimmer make it wherever he's going for Christmas?
That's right. To town.
Yeah. So whichever town he's going to. Yeah.
That's right.
So we'll explore this further and see if we can figure. Maybe we'll get him involved.
Maybe I can see if I can do an AI song like Santa Claus is coming to town, but it's different. Maybe it's Kimmer Claus.
Will he make it to town?
To town. Yeah. We'll see.
I think it's good. I think it's a good idea. And we'll play that song. And every time we play those songs that Los creates, they're always ahead of people calling. They're like, play it again.
We do have, as a Christmas gift last year, that he gave away bullets.
That's right.
That's
for
where
love.
Bullets for Love
That's
came
right.
from. That he wasn't sure what to give away for Christmas, so he gave people bullets.
How crazy is it that that's been a year?
Yeah, it's a year removed since.
Holy cow! Where's this year gone? This year has been so quick. I guess you can say that about every year.
And considering how fast the audience has grown, I would just like to let you know that.
Some people might not even know about it.
Bullets for Love. We found it was a German rock group who's really in love with Kimmer. And they wrote all these songs that were a lot about Kimmer, and one of them was Bullets for Love.
Yeah, like Roxette.
And that Kimmer, because one Christmas he didn't know what to give people, so he started giving them bullets, and that was misconstrued.
Which is crazy because Kimmer's always prepared. He's a man that believes in the Second Amendment, and he supports the Second Amendment. And so I don't know how you misconstrue that. I mean, Bullets for Love. I mean, it makes... It's genius, if you ask me.
We'll see what happens. Maybe we coming back from break, we'll get a little Bullets for Love into something.
Hope so.
One of these.
It'd be great.
It's a Christmas tune. It's a Christmas song.
It would be great to start. It'd be great to start the 8 o'clock hour. Where is this hour going?
I don't know.
The fact this hour
I don't know what happened to the first half of the show.
Yeah, it just disappears because you're here. 404-741-1230 at Extra 1063. Across the social media platforms, Trump's plan to gut Obamacare next on Extra.
Time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
Sunday morning. Donna likes to watch Jane Pauley's Sunday morning show on CBS, so that means so do I. This past Sunday morning, there was a feature on Atlanta, homelessness in Atlanta. And as you might predict, a lot of it was, these poor, pitiful people caught in these circumstances. Well, let me tell you something. This so-called homeless expert leading the correspondent around Atlanta introduced her to one homeless woman with 8 children, 8 living in an extended stay hotel. Then introduced to another woman with 4 children, again in an extended stay hotel. And predictably, life was tough. They're relying on food stamps. There is no husband or father in the picture providing any assistance at all. And we're getting the story of the excessive prices that are charged for these people to live in these extended stay hotels or motels or whatever. Okay, 2 thoughts. Well, a lot of thoughts, but 2 I'll share. Number 1, not one thing was said during this whole segment about women having babies they flat out cannot afford to raise. It was as if that is totally a normal thing for a woman to do. I can't afford this baby, and the baby daddy ain't going to pay me any money, but I'm going to have the baby anyway. It's more company, maybe more checks. Nobody seems to want to address the problem of women having children they can't afford to raise. And then what about the price in these extended stay hotels? Well, I happen to know somebody that owns those. You ought to see the way they are left when the homeless family moves out. The repair costs are extensive. Gee, I wonder if that could have anything to do with why they have to charge so much. Tell the whole story, CBS, even though your target audience might not appreciate that. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3 FM.
Hey, it's a Kimmer. You know what time it is? Holiday season, cooler weather, perfect time to get those outdoor projects done. Stovall & Company has everything: wholesale landscaping, nursery, irrigation supplies. 11 locations, latest one in Canton. Family owned for 75 years. They've got it all. StovallInc.com.
WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 8 a.m. hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air.
It's a vote President Trump now supports.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
We have nothing to do with Epstein. The Democrats do. All of his friends were Democrats.
And he's urging Republicans to support the push for more documents from the investigation into the late Jeffrey Epstein's underage girls sex trafficking operation. The resolution being voted on today in the House would
compel the release of the Epstein files, saying members of his party have, quote, nothing to hide. House Speaker Mike Johnson agrees.
He's never had anything to hide. He and I had the same concern that we wanted to ensure that victims of these heinous crimes are completely protected from disclosure.
A discharge petition signed by all House Democrats and some Republicans forced the resolution to the floor.
That's Fox's Ryan Schmelz. Today, President Trump will host Saudi Arabia's crown prince at the White House, talking trade and defense. They'll also discuss relations with Israel as the U.S. brokered ceasefire for Gaza remains in place the day after a UN vote.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has posted on X to say he and the State of Israel applaud President Donald Trump and his tireless and devoted team. This after the United Nations Security Council gave its mandate for an international stabilization force for Gaza, passing a resolution endorsing President Trump's peace plan. The vote has been condemned by Hamas, however, which says the stabilization force will not be neutral.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. President Trump's pushing back on Democrats' claims his policies are making things unaffordable and hurting the economy.
In the past 6 months, the price of breakfast items has fallen 14%. Bread prices are down. Dairy prices are down. And the price of eggs has declined 86% since March.
And the president told a gathering of McDonald's executives and franchisees he's trying to bring more costs down, adding,
I'm also one of your all-time most loyal customers. I really am.
Saying he's the first former McDonald's fry cook to become president, referencing his campaign event last year, making fries. America's listening to Fox.
So Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $29.95 a month for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This top-tier plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you'll save over 50% every month for the rest of your life. You might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer expires 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
This is Tucker Carlson. You're listening to Atlanta's only conservative talk station, Extra 106.3. Worldwide on the Extra app.
Kimmer's got a shot, got decade to spare. Thought it's 3, but now it's 10. Presents for years, where to begin? Bullets in a stash, she's got a plan. Gifts for his crew, he's the man. Friends just stare, they're all confused. Kimmer's love gets misconstrued. He's got the gift, na-na-na-na. Bullets for love.
Yes, sir.
Na-na-na-na.
Come on.
10 more years, he's feeling alive, but they don't get it, no matter how he tries. He's got to give.
There you go. Bullets for love.
It's the story of a man who gave away bullets for Christmas because he wasn't sure what else to give his crew.
And what more would you want than some bullets for Christmas?
And if you had an office worker give you one, wouldn't it be a little bit strange?
I think it would be great.
Here's a bullet.
Yeah, I've got several of them here. Just loose, not in like a
loose handful of bullets. Take these.
A couple of them are dropping on the
Take these now. Merry Christmas.
That's the love that Kimmer has for people, and that's the love that Kimmer has for you when you listen to him every afternoon.
3 to 6. 3 to 6, y'all.
Yeah, here
Get
on
ready.
Extra. Yeah, get some bullets for love, and then on top of that, that is a song that
her Transfusions for Love is going to be coming up next.
That's right, dude. He fell in love with.
We
those.
introduced Kimmer at our golf tournament to Transfusions, and this was like 10:03. Or actually, I take it back. It was 9:03 because we got a chance to get off the show an hour early and go to Glen Beck a little bit early so that we could do the ceremonies and everything else that we had going on. And so I went over to the table, and Kimmer came along. I ordered him a double transfusion, He took like a little sip of it and he goes, oh, he goes, that's good.
And it is.
And then I think he had one more maybe, but by the time they handed him the microphone, he was like, these damn transfusions. And then started going. I was like, yes.
He was lubed up.
So we might have Transfusions for Love or something next.
Look, that was last year, Bullets for Love. This year, Transfusions for Love. And if you don't know what a transfusion is, that is like Tito's or a vodka with ginger beer or ginger ale, whichever you choose, and then a splash of grape juice. Little Welch's.
And it's yummy.
And it's so
very
yummy.
good.
Holy cow, they're so good. So if you've never tried one, maybe not this morning necessarily, like Kimmer did at 9:05, 9:03.
Well, that was different. We were
in a golf fest. That's what I'm saying. Maybe not this morning, but maybe a Saturday morning or something.
Or maybe you happen to have a midday little siesta or / festival.
Yeah.
Maybe you have to wait till the evening. Either way, make a transfusion. Think about us when you do it.
Yes, and smile and say, look, Los and Tug told me about this. Dre would have enjoyed those too. Have you ever had a transfusion, Dre?
No, sir.
And see, that's something.
Okay.
Maybe Kimmer can make you one too.
Now we have a reason to have to go and get one.
Yeah, that's right. And they're great for like a football Saturday. Because they're, you don't have to go double and you can just kind of be mellow throughout. Here's another thing that I did. We were up in the mountains a few weeks ago and went to Mercier's, Blue Ridge.
The Orchard.
Yeah, the Orchard. Yeah. They make their own ciders. And they're not alcoholic. But I fixed that.
But I fixed it. We had a problem. I took care of the problem.
Right. And let me tell you, their cider mixed with a little rum or a little whatever is quite good. So maybe if you get up there, give that a try too.
They've got apple cider vinegar powdered donuts.
Yes, which my wife loves. We had to pick up some of those when we went up. Everybody,
they don't last long.
They get gone quick. So delicious, so good. Just like so many things. And then you're going to get a good new song when. Like Roxette was the name of the act that did that.
Yeah, they're 4 or 5 different German band members, and they come up with different Kimmer songs. They've done it for quite a while.
Which, I mean, I don't know how you wouldn't love it, because we all love Kimmer, and we all love good music, and that's what we get out of Like Roxette. And just maybe there could be Transfusions for Love in our near future.
Transfusions for Love. It's not blood.
No, not at all. The 8, where am I? 8 o'clock hour.
You're in the 8 o'clock hour. You're about what Trump's going to do to Obamacare.
That's exactly right. Just flipping it all upside down. 8 o'clock hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlantic.
He showed up all doped up. Huh? We're just trying to get him through it, y'all.
Yeah, that's right, dude. They've been having to carry me this morning. I've been.
He's high as a kite. He's like, woo!
It's this.
Just thinking about a transfusion.
That's right.
He got into the the rainstorm a little bit too early.
The Valencia orange, and it's got me a little sideways. But I got a good team to pick me up and carry me across the finish line. And like I said, 8 o'clock hour brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier experts. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com. Los told you weeks ago that Obamacare was in the sights of the Donald Trump administration. And now we know it that by December, when we get into December, we should have some details on it, Los.
So when we had the shutdown fight and everything that was going on there, I firmly believe that this left a big gap that was discovered. Because I think Donald Trump, we would ask the people that we know in Congress, hey, what's the next plan? And they were not really forthcoming. I don't know if they knew what the plan was. We talked about what was going to happen after you had a peace deal. Currently still moving forward with Hamas and Israel. We said, you had the political capital to do something big. Like, what is going to be your big target? You've done largely economic stuff. What are you now going to do domestically that's going to be big for people? And I believe Donald Trump stumbled into it, or somebody did in that administration, of what if we take Obamacare, that some people do depend on, it does happen, taking money from your neighbors and it's financing your health care. It's paying for your health care. But the problem is that even the people that exist in Obamacare don't like the fact that money goes straight to the insurance companies.
Yeah, who's going to like that?
So the discussion point turned into, well, how do we break this shutdown? Well, why don't we send them the money directly? And that really forced the crumble. But that also created a point where Democrats started saying to themselves, oh, like we might have something here. So take a listen. This was the breakdown. This was that moment of, hey, maybe this might work, and maybe this will be the plan of attack to, at the very least, we'll see what the next program is, but this is about, for Donald Trump, ending Obamacare.
And I've had personal talks with some Democrats. I can't tell you who they are. I just don't want to do that. It's not fair to them. About paying large amounts of dollars back to the people. You know, this was my idea. It came up during that. You know, oftentimes under times of stress, like the shutdown, you come up with great ideas that you wouldn't have thought of before. The insurance companies are making a fortune. Their stock is up over 1,000% over a short period of time. They are taking in hundreds of billions of dollars, and they're not really putting it back, certainly not like they should. So when I see this, and when I've seen this over the last pretty short period of time, I said, why do we just pay to the people of our country and let them buy their own health insurance? And you know, I made that statement, and I made it a little bit cavalierly, but it sounded good. And everybody has picked it up, including Democrats. And I am talking to some Democrats right now about doing that. People love it. We're going to take the money. Well, if it gets approved, we're going to take the money. We're going to pay it back to the people of our country to go out and buy health insurance. Now, they can put it in a health account. We can do it a lot of different ways. But they buy their own health insurance. They can negotiate price. And it's going to be locked, so they can't go out and buy a Cadillac. They can go out and buy health insurance.
All right. That's the target. That's the December. That's what's going.
Yeah, that's what's
coming.
Been brewing. The only thing is that weirds me out a little bit is just don't take the money from people and let them just keep their own money. That's the way. Like, if I'm going to do it, that's the way I prefer it. Instead of, hey, we're going to collect the taxes and then we're going to send you your money back so you can start an HSA or whatever. Just don't tax people.
Here was always the danger. Once you give someone something like this,
yeah,
it never goes away.
No, it doesn't. Exactly. But I want it to. And I want Donald Trump to figure out a way to get it done.
But I believe this is that, and I talked about the importance of the establishment. I don't care for establishment Republicans. I mean, I hold them in the same sort of vitriol I have when it comes to the establishment of the left. I'm like, okay, y'all are all in cahoots together, and your only job is to get me to try and fight somebody that looks at themselves as liberal. Like, that's your only job, so that you can continue pilfering money from this country. What I firmly believe is that we're going to have a scenario that if we can get rid of a large item of Obamacare, let's say the amount of subsidies that are going to the insurance companies, that's the way I'm not taking as much money from you. And the money that then goes directly to those people that do now have this program, now they can shop. And now maybe they'll be able to get cheaper health care, which will then drive down health care all the way across the board because the government is no longer handing money to insurance companies that they know they're going to be getting. Because they have no incentive to lower costs right now.
No, you're exactly right.
Absolutely none.
No, without a doubt. But I'm not sure, because we talked about this yesterday, I'm not sure when the federal government takes your taxes and then they refund it to you in some way, they give it to you in some way, that there's any incentive to lower prices anyway, because they know, again, it doesn't, right? Because they know the money's there. They know that the check is waiting to be put into a savings account or whatever, and then cut it to the insurance company.
Right. But instead, and this is the hope here, okay? I'm not saying this is how it's going to exactly work, but this is the way, if I had to design this within the parameters that I'm dealing with, as we talked about yesterday, if Tug and I could just blow up Obamacare and make it an entire free market system, that's what we would do.
Yeah, that's the ideal.
Across the board, that's what we would do.
Ideal.
But given that does not seem to be on the table, then we have to create an element of competition. And as of right now, if it's Jerry Insurance Company, Tug Insurance Company, Los Insurance Company, the money gets taken from the people. And before it ever finds its way into the Obamacare system, it heads to the insurance companies. So I'm already reinforced. I don't have to
I'm good. I don't have to do anything.
I don't have to do anything.
That's right.
Okay, now what happens if that money goes into the marketplace in terms of it goes to the people that do use the system? Now, again, I don't care for it.
No, that's right. But that seems like the box we're in.
But now at that point, insurance company Jerry, insurance Tug, insurance Los are now having to fight for that money. That's the hybrid of this thing.
And Jerry Insurance Company says, you know what? We're going to lower about $10.
This is what we're going to do.
Yeah, we're going to make it $15 cheaper.
And I'm sitting back going like, well, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And that's where it's different. If I'm not getting the money up front and I'm having to fight to get the consumer's dollar, even though that is technically in the real world, that's Jerry's money, my money, Tug's money.
Mm-hmm.
They're using that, but now they're shopping with that. And at least it's creating a marketplace, or at least it should create a marketplace.
Jerry's Insurance Company, the website's going to work on day one. Guaranteed.
He's all over it.
Are you going to have anybody in pajamas sipping hot chocolate? You think you'll do that on your website?
Maybe sweatpants.
JerryHealth.org.
Yeah. One step up from pajamas.
I would pay more not to shop with you.
All my guys.
Joggers. Yeah, that's right.
All my guys are going to be on the cover wearing action pants and practicing karate.
Yeah.
Which means open hand, Tug.
Did I do it wrong?
No, I'm just saying no. I'm just saying karate. It means open hand.
There you go. I want the free market.
I would love a purely free market system.
And I just don't understand, if you're blowing it up, just blow it all to smithereens and let it scatter to the wind and let the market take care of itself. It always does. It doesn't matter what the industry is.
Honestly, the easiest way to do this is this can go through the House without a problem. Although that's why I say, why do you play golf with Lindsey Graham? You need the establishment here.
Absolutely. You got to get them on board.
But if you want this to happen easily, yes, you can use reconciliation because of what you're doing, but it makes it not as hard and fast as if he's hearing from Democrat senators.
And he said he is, and I believe him. I got no reason not to believe him.
Then you can get to 60 votes without a problem, and now you've got a legitimate, at least a different solution from Obamacare. And let me get this very simply put. He wants to tear up Obamacare in part because I don't think he just hates Barack Obama.
Yeah.
He has to at this point.
Yeah. Although
like they're chummy when Jimmy Carter dies.
Yeah, I was going to say they look really chummy. Well, but that's the smartness of Donald Trump. Being wise, and even when you're in mixed company, you still behave the same way. You still treat it as a business transaction.
He can't stand Russian collusion so much, and all the things it did and the places it led to, including raiding his house, and to know that it all started with Barack Obama. I think he'd love to take Barack Obama and take Obamacare apart.
Yeah, no, he would. Yeah, 100% would. There's no question about it.
Here's your legacy, buddy.
Yeah. Dust in the wind. But
will it be better? I don't know.
See, but that's the thing. If you don't accomplish the goal, I don't know that you've done anything, significant.
I just think he wants to.
Now it's like a prideful thing. Yeah, that would help with his pride. I just want to see a better capitalist model. Look, just go back to what we were doing prior to Obamacare.
It was cheaper.
I'd be okay with that.
It was better.
Yeah, of course it was. And that was just free market. That was just everybody buying.
But that was also the other issue, is that they got into the heartstrings of the left. And whatever the numbers they were saying at the time, it was like, do you know that there's 30 million Americans without any health care? You're like, well, maybe they need to find a job that provides it. I mean, that was me, because I'm just a cruel, heartless bastard on these things, apparently.
I don't know. Right now, what you're going to do is you're going to subsidize everybody with tax dollars. So there are going to be people that don't do anything, that won't get up and volunteer. But that's what I'm saying. Does that change anything, really? And I don't know that it does. Maybe slightly improves, maybe.
I just think that it forces the insurance companies to have to compete for your services. And if you can then also tell me that we can open this up across state lines, so it's a multitude of insurance companies competing for your dollar, regardless if it's, well, there's my dollar.
There's a hint of competition.
There's also my dollar that somebody else has.
And your dollar again.
Yes.
And our dollar.
But at least it's competition for those dollars that are either in my pocket or somebody else's.
Am I being too cynical about this?
No, I would be. 100%. We started off this entire conversation over the last week of talking about the problem, but then even yesterday talking about how the solutions that you and I want are not available.
I know.
And that's the frustrating part, because you cannot get enough of the politicians in Washington. They've had their hand in the cookie jar. There's a lot of power in controlling healthcare. They still want a good part of it.
Yes, there is. And the other thing that I would lay out there is, as much as I love Trump, and I think he's great, I think he's great for America. I don't worship at the altar, but I think he's a great president. He's not a conservative. That's the other part of it.
No, he's never been that.
And he's never going to be.
I mean, he's a former Democrat.
Yeah.
Who then, I would say...
So that's why I think he's fine with it working that way.
There's a larger amount of conservative ideology that he governs by in terms of, for instance, peace through strength. We're going to have a bigger stick.
That's a conservative
We're going to rebuild the military. Yeah. There's many conservative values that the man has. But if you're looking for pure conservative, that's more J.D. Vance than anybody.
Without a doubt, which I look forward to those days with J.D. Vance in office. I'm really looking forward to that. But, so there's that little bit of me that goes, dude, this is kind of the principle that works under. This is what he's always believed. And I don't know. I feel like that there's a chance to do something really, really great, and we're going to get okay instead.
May I give you credit for this? I think you summarized it really well yesterday. You're like, is there a deal to be made?
That's what he's doing.
That's what he's doing.
Absolutely.
Is there a deal to be made?
I believe that.
Because more than anything, not a Democrat, he's not a liberal, he's not a conservative, he's a deal maker.
And you know what else? They could sell this. And he's a guy that, look, if the most popular thing right now would be just blow it all up and just be straight capitalist about it, if that was the most popular, he would put his finger in the air as a populist, and that's the route he would go. He feels like he can sell this by saying, we're going to take care of everybody. Everybody's going to get a chance at great health insurance. And it's not going to be Obamacare, so he wins. He feels like the people win. That's where he's going with it. Morning Xtra at Extra 106.3 when we continue. Story time. MK Ultra is the subject. Next on Extra.
Stream Atlanta's only conservative voice anywhere you go with the Extra 106.3 app. Now equipped with Apple CarPlay. That means you'll always have Extra's crystal clear HD stream right on your dashboard no matter where you are. Download the all-new Extra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
Big moments deserve big-time craftsmanship. At Solomon Brothers Jewelers, we've been family-owned and operated since 1982 because we know what it means to show up when it counts. Jaron Solomon here, and that's why we're proud to be an official Tacori jeweler. Each Tacori ring is handcrafted in California, going through 20 elite artisans before it hits your hands. Not mass-produced, not generic, always personal. And with Solomon Brothers, you get lifetime cleanings, unbeatable financing, and the largest Tacori selection in Georgia. Stop by a store in Buckhead, Alpharetta, or Sharpsburg. Visit SolomonBrothers.com to book your private appointment. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, where love is in the details and legends are built to last. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs and official jeweler of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
This is Window Nation, your source for affordable replacement windows at the highest quality. So if your old windows have you boiling in the summer and freezing in the winter, you need the pros at Window Nation with installation precision and experience that are second to none. Their custom windows are guaranteed to be a perfect fit, and they're backed by the best warranty in the industry. Go to getwindownation.com or call 866-90Nation for your free estimate. And for limited time, get 50% off all window styles, plus pay no interest for 5 years.
Hi, it's Los, here with Tom Mitchell, the Honest Car Guy. Tom, you are changing the way people are buying their next pre-owned car or truck. How are you doing it?
You know, Los, we found a better way for customers to buy a car. An honest way, a very transparent way. You pay what we pay plus our honest fee.
How do you prove that?
We even prove it to you by giving you a copy of the bill of sale at the end of the deal.
How much can people save when they buy their next vehicle with the Honest Car Guy?
I save people upwards of $20,000 and $30,000. I mean, it really depends on the year, the make, the model of the car, and the price of the car. You know, on a $15,000 car, I can't save you $20,000. We can probably save you $2,000 or $3,000. But it's through the course of the whole sale. The big one here that people don't realize, the financing. You go into the dealership, they tell you your rate's 9%. Well, really, it's probably 7% because they're allowed to make 2 points on there. The Honest Car Guy, you'll save an average of $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the price of the car.
Folks, if you want to save thousands on your next pre-owned car or truck, try the Honest Car Guy. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or honestcarguy.com.
Of all the radio ads I've ever done, I only advertised one thing that I think saved my life. My CPAP machine, sleep apnea. And I found the best CPAP dealer out there ever, Roddy, at CPAPs, etc., in Alpharetta. CPAPsETC.com. Everything you need, all the supplies, shipped anywhere at a price that often beats insurance. CPAPsETC.com. Go take a peek now.
I'm Chad Pergram with the Speaker's Lobby. Sometime the world changes on the conversation with a teenager. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi announced she would not run for re-election next year and retire after nearly 4 decades in the House. Pelosi was born into a political family. Her father, Tommy D'Alessandro, was a congressman and mayor of Baltimore. Pelosi was involved in politics, but as a fundraiser, chair of the California Democratic Party. But party elders approached Pelosi when a House seat opened up in San Francisco in 1987. Pelosi was the mother of 5, and her youngest, Alexandra, was a senior in high school. Pelosi went to Alexandra and asked for her daughter's blessing to run. Pelosi was concerned about being there for her youngest child's senior year, prom, award ceremonies, college visits. Pelosi said that Alexandra looked at her and in the vernacular of the day said, quote, "Mom, get a life." And thus, Pelosi ran for Congress, won a contested primary, became the first female Speaker of the House, and a powerful speaker at that. In other words, quite a life. With the Speaker's Lobby, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Tuesday, November 18th. The FBI seized thousands of kilos of meth hidden in boxes of jalapenos imported from Mexico in North Georgia. The bust is part of Operation Take Back America by the FBI. 12 suspects were arrested and have pled guilty to drug trafficking charges. Several of those arrested were Mexican nationals. Officials say they have ties to Mexican drug cartels. The state of Georgia is rolling out more than $42 million in grants to help combat the opioid crisis. The funding comes from multiple national opioid lawsuit settlements. It'll reach 109 projects across the state. Programs receiving funding focus on early intervention and prevention, recovery, workforce training, and housing. And the city of Alpharetta voted to approve a tax allocation for the redevelopment of the North Point Mall. A recent study proposes that the site be redeveloped for about 2,600 residential housing units and nearly 3 million square feet of commercial space, including retail, hotels, and office space. Today's weather partly cloudy with a high of 73 degrees. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10 on Extra. 8 o'clock hour brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier expert. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com. A lot of people have penny jars there at the house. You know, they just did the last minting, I think it was last week, of the last official penny to be made, and the federal government's not doing that anymore. Not sure why they had that whole ceremony. They could have just stopped and not done it and be done with it, because they cost 3 cents to make a 1 cent penny. Apparently, there's 300 billion pennies in circulation.
It's going to take a while, I guess.
300 billion. Now, according to The Atlantic, and I don't know this to be true, there's no way for me to know, but according to them, they say 300 billion, that there is more likely to be more pennies on Earth than stars in our galaxy.
Wow.
Dude, is that not an overwhelming stat? That's like, good Lord. Because think about how many people, and when they say in circulation, is that actually being used? Or does that count the ones that people have those giant penny jars like my Uncle Tom does? I don't know if that would.
I would imagine it's got to be in circulation,
right? And not the ones that are just been sitting there because
they're passing through the economy.
That jar has been sitting at his house for as long as I can remember. So those have been out of circulation for 15 years, 20 years.
we haven't seen these out there yet.
So, but if that's the case, then that number's low.
The problem is he's probably got like $72 in pennies in there.
Yeah, that's right. It probably doesn't add up to much. But if you took everybody's penny jars and threw them together, man, that would probably add up to something. Because we don't have. You said you don't have a penny jar. We don't either. Jerry, do you have a penny jar? Do you have a?
I got a coffee can with a bunch of change, but it's not specifically pennies.
Yeah. We got one of those too. It's like something in the kitchen we'll just throw change in, because who cares change anymore?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah, nobody.
I don't know why don't get rid of all coins. If I'm being completely honest, why would you even keep coins around? Who uses them?
I mean, you just run into that situation where cash is,
it's so rare.
Most places don't even take cash anymore.
That's right. You're exactly right. We were at Avalon the other day in Alpharetta, and sure enough, on the door, no cash accepted.
If I'm carrying cash, it's because we're traveling and I need to tip.
That's right. Yeah, that's the
about
only
the
reason.
only time I carry cash now.
And then we'll run through an ATM knowing, we need a foldable bill. We need something to tip with.
I keep a Venmo and a Cash App account.
Same here.
And I keep a Cash App account only because we use mobile IV nurses when we travel to different cities, because my daughter has POTS, and so she needs a little bit extra. Long tournament, 4-day tournament, we get her an IV before the tournament, just to get a little bit extra hydration.
Yeah.
Most all of them are Cash App, card or Cash App, and Cash App you avoid the additional fees.
Yeah.
And we're like, hey, thank you for coming. I'll do Cash App.
It's already attached to your account.
Right.
Versus having to charge it to a credit card, which is 3%. I know if you use Venmo, it's 3% on top of it because of the credit card fee.
And the amount of people that I've seen, especially performing artists, that now have, rather than a tip jar, it's just, here's my Venmo.
Here's my Venmo. It's exactly
Put the
right.
Venmo to it.
We went to a place up and coming. We're not far from where you live. Same thing. Guy was picking and grinning there. A little Italian restaurant we went to for a birthday, and he was almost shocked. I just happened to have. No, it wasn't even me. It was somebody in our party. They just happened to have a 5 or a 10 or whatever, and they wanted to tip the dude who's up there playing. And he had no jar. He literally took it from my little niece, and it was like you could see the confusion on his face because it had been so long since somebody asked. What is this for?
Is this American Tender? What is this thing?
What is this? Can you not scan it with your phone? Why are you giving me this? Anyway, I just thought it was interesting. 300 billion, more than the stars in the galaxy. Thankfully, we put those away. It is story time.
Settle in and get comfortable, folks. It's story time with Uncle Los.
Oh, thank you to Jeray, and thank you to good, strong Tug. He was out of his mind on caffeine this morning.
Dude, I'm bouncing off the walls. I don't know why.
He's just all over the place.
I don't know if they gave me an extra dose in this rain or what it is.
There's an extra shot of awesomeness that's in there.
Goodness. Feel like Beavis and Butthead.
Thank you, America. So I wanted to talk about a current day story, but I wanted to start in the past. Oftentimes, that's what we do during story time. And I want to tell you about a young man who went to Harvard and was a brilliant student, recognized as being a brilliant student. But he also fell in with a certain group of professors. And as it turns out, they talked about some of the studies that they were doing. I was like, well, what do these studies have to do with? It's like, well, it's not so much mind control so much as it's influence and wanting to take strong personalities and see if we can kind of alter the way that they look at the world. And the student jumped on board with it.
It's fascinating. Sounds fascinating.
And so in this case, the student was actually subjected to, it wasn't deprivation. It wasn't sleep deprivation. It wasn't drugs. It was, he was asked to voice his opinion, and then he would have authority figures, or so he was told, that would tell him why he was wrong. So if he had a view of the law, somebody would come in, claim to be a lawyer, and tell him all why he was wrong. And the study was to beat you down to the point to see, can we then have influence over who you are?
Well, I think that should be clear. If you can just beat somebody down and tell them no every day, the answer is yes, you can control that.
Eventually, you look to them as an authority, right? That was what the study that was done. Now, that study was done from 1959 to 1962 by a Dr. Harry A. Murray, who just happened to be tied into formerly the OSS and the CIA. OSS being the original before we got to the CIA, and loosely affiliated through funding with MK Ultra. Now, we'll get to MK Ultra in a minute. But who was this student who had this done to them? The man's name was Ted Kaczynski.
Oh my, that sounds very familiar.
Better known as the Unabomber, who would eventually be so mentally broken that he broke away from society and decided, I'm going to live in a cabin in the woods, rail against technology, which when you go back and read it now with AI coming, it's pretty interesting stuff, and then send bombs to people that I feel that are proliferating technology around the world. That's what happened to Ted Kaczynski. Now, did he have problems beforehand? Maybe, probably. Having a run-in with loosely affiliated MK Ultra, was that a problem? Probably. Now, you might be asking, okay, what's MK Ultra? So after World War II, the next round of science began. We'd already had the nuclear bomb, the atomic bomb. We're working on hydrogen bombs. But one of the other elements that was going on was you had the United States and the Russians in the Cold War. And now you also had the discussion of, all right, we just went through Korea. We're fighting the Chinese. They're communists too. All right, spy game is going up a notch. What do we want to do? The United States government, as a group, CIA, and then the program MK Ultra wanted to understand mind control. Now, they had looked at a couple different ways into this. They wanted to look into interrogation resistance. They wanted to look into behavioral manipulation. But then, and here was the fun part, they wanted to look into the use of drugs, chemical manipulation, in order to make you think things, do things, say things. And what did they do? MK Ultra, the CIA, purchased a ton of LSD, and they were using it on people. Some of them unwittingly. Some of them that were soldiers. Some of them that were medical physicians. Some of them were just regular citizens. And they would see, okay, can this break a person? Can we expand their mind so we can put thoughts into their mind? Now, this went on. This isn't like a 2 or 3 year project. This went on from 1950 to 1973. And the only reason it really came to an end, or did it, was because of the church group in 1975 that started looking into what the CIA was involved in. That's when, if you've ever seen if you go to YouTube and you look up church group, you'll see where congressmen are staring at a gun. They're like, so this is the heart attack gun? And it was a gun that with whatever was in it, if it was used secretly, let's say you're walking through an airport and you happen to shoot somebody with it. Now, it's not going to go off like a firearm, but apparently it would give someone a heart attack. Wow. These are the sort of things that the CIA had developed as part of their spycraft.
Yeah.
And so, so the church committee kind of put a lot of this on blast, got a lot of it out there. So just to kind of, give you like a little bit of another offshoot of this. So one of the guys that was part of MK Ultra was a guy known as Jolly West. Now, Jolly West, he was the guy that went to go meet up. Now, this is documented. This is known. This is not like, let's see. This is hearsay. He's one of the people that went to go and do a psychological evaluation of Jack Ruby after he had killed Lee Harvey Oswald. By the time Jolly West was done with him, Ruby was nuts. Just flat out crazy. Well, Jolly West also ran a place in Haight-Ashbury. And if you ever want to follow the book MK Ultra Chaos, that follows a string of events that includes Jolly West and MK Ultra having interactions with the Manson family. What was the Manson family known for doing? LSD. Lots of it. Now, can you draw strict lines to that stuff? No. It's still a loose affiliation. But what was the goal? If there was a goal, it was to let's finish off the hippie movement. Let's mind control these people to do things they wouldn't typically do, which is here's a bunch of kids that grew up, some of them well-to-do, others not, but they didn't have murder written all over them. Yet, 2 different times, they rolled out and murdered people in some grotesque fashion. So why do I point out MK Ultra? Because there's a young man in Thomas Crooks that when you look into what's been now published, that young man had very extremist views in terms of initially the right. He thought all Democrats should die. He thought the squad should all be sent back to their homes and shot.
This was shared on social media for God.
Shared on social media. By the time we hit COVID, Thomas Crooks, the shooter in Butler, Pennsylvania, in 2019 had moved into 2020 all of his political views. Fox News had to die. Donald Trump needed to be shot. Everything was lined out towards that's the enemy. And you wonder who got to him. But not just that. I think what MK Ultra was looking to do, eventually we now have had modern medicine figure out how to do, which is find people that are sexually oriented confused and are on antidepressants. And that seems to be the medical cocktail for you can push a person to do all sorts of stuff. You can push them to be as violent as you need them to be. MK Ultra had it wrong. It wasn't LSD. It was the madness of sexual confusion to go along with all of these, SSRIs, all these mood enhancers, all these mood changers. That seems to be the trigger that can get regular people that, hey, I went to school with that person. They're pretty normal. Hey, I know that guy. Yeah, I made sandwiches with him down at the local deli. Why did he shoot up a school? Because of this. And so just know that MK Ultra for the longest time in this country, was always pushing for this. And I think what has now happened now, do I believe government involvement? No, I'm not saying that. What I'm pointing out, though, is that when it comes to getting people to do stuff that is out of the ordinary violent, that is way out there, I think we've now seen it in some groups are now taking advantage of it. There's a reason why Antifa has buddied up with some of these people that are part of these forums. It's because if you find the right people with the right kind of problems going on mentally and the right kind of medication they're on, you can manipulate them to do all sorts of brutal things.
This is totally different, but along the same lines. In Europe, you're having these groups, Islamist or communist or whatever combination, where they get kids who don't have parents, that are very, very poor, that have been abused in some way or other, and they get them to knock off people. They're paying them to do it. But how do you convince them? Well, they bring them in and they tell them, oh, we're going to be your family. We're going to take care of you. All they're doing is exploiting them.
You're cultivating a mental weakness that's going on.
And if you remember, Tucker Carlson over the weekend, because we both watched his video, Tucker talked about some of the people that Thomas Crooks may have been connected with. And all of that points to some kind of interaction with someone, whether some crazy group or some sort of government entity.
So if I happen to be a member of the government, all right, there's certain ways that I need, if I need to find the right people, I'm typically going to the colleges and universities and I'm recruiting people from the CIA. That's typically how it works. But if I'm, let's say, Antifa, and I need to find those soldiers that are going to do the kind of carnage that I'm looking for, I am in the, Dexy Art message groups.
Mm-hmm.
I am in the furry community.
Yeah,
I'm all over these places.
I know where to look.
Because I know that these people...
Same way with over in Europe. They know where to look.
They're mentally unstable. They're looking for a cause. And so that's how you're able to cultivate that sort of asset.
I'm like you. I'm not saying a government entity had anything to do.
But it's the same MO.
But it's the same
MO. A terrorist organization will do the same way that the government will.
But there's that bit of me that my antenna went up when Thomas Crooks, posted all the violent messages he did on social media. It wasn't hidden in some of those chat rooms. This was on YouTube and on Google and on his social media.
Easy to cultivate. It would not be hard to figure out who this kid is.
But that's the only thing that throws me off. Why didn't the FBI know that? Or did they?
Well, that's a hypothetical question for
of course it is.
Kash Patel and the rest of them to have to answer at some point.
Of course it is. But if you were looking and if you're always scouring social media, you're telling me you didn't run across that guy?
How is this guy not sticking up like a giant stop sign in the middle of the desert?
So, like you said, I'm not saying government involvement because there's no way for me to know that. But remember when we came in day one and we were all like, let's sit back, and the two youngest people on the show said government had something to do with it.
That happened the day after.
Yeah, it did.
The two youngest guys on the show.
So, again, lot of winding roads, a lot of ifs, a lot of hypotheticals, but when you bring it in the way you did, it certainly does kick open the door for a lot of questions.
MK Ultra, everybody. That's what we were trying to do at one point.
Story time. Again, a home run from Front Office Los. So what you get on Xtra 106.3 that you don't get anywhere else. Give me another station. Give me another show that's talking about this. I'll wait. When we continue on Xtra 106.3, when lefty celebrities are told the truth, it's shocking to them. Bill Maher shocked one of his bubble-dwelling friends. Next on Xtra.
The Morning Xtra on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Xtra 106.3 FM.
Hello, humans. It's fellow human Los. Let's talk about Howard Brothers and Xmark. November means cool mornings, and of course, you've noticed falling leaves and lawns that still need that perfect finish before the holidays start. Make it easy with Xmark from Howard Brothers, the mower that's built to perform when it matters the most. From homeowners to pros, Xmark delivers comfort, speed, and precision that keeps your yard looking sharp all year long. Don't let the fall slow you down. You want to have time for all those weekend activities. So head on over to Howard Brothers and power through the work with an Xmark on your side. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Xmark and Howard Brothers.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Tuesday, November 18th. From the NBA, the Detroit Pistons are now 12-2 and leading the Eastern Conference as they show up to State Farm Arena tonight to take on the 9-5 Atlanta Hawks. The Pistons are on the second game of back-to-back. The Hawks coming off a very successful West Coast road trip and rested. Tip-off is set for 7:30. The next round of the college football playoff rankings will be out tonight. Georgia looking to move into that top four. The reveal is set for 8:30, and the Atlanta Falcons will be without quarterback Michael Penix Jr. for what looks like the remainder of the season. Penix suffered a partially torn ACL in his knee, and the Falcons lost to the Carolina Panthers. Kirk Cousins takes over as the starter. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Faith, family, freedom. These are the cornerstones of America and the foundation for a successful life. But today, all three are under attack. Crushing debt, out-of-control spending, and reckless policies in Washington are threatening your savings, your retirement, and your future. Hi, this is Glenn Beck. The only financial advisory firm I recommend in Atlanta is Nicholas Wealth Management. David Nicholas and his team believe protecting your money is about more than wealth. It's about defending your faith, your family, and your freedom. If your hard-earned retirement is left exposed to market chaos, higher taxes, or inflation, what happens to the life you've worked so hard to build? For over 20 years, David Nicholas has helped families right here in Atlanta fight back with retirement strategies built to better withstand uncertainty. Call Nicholas Wealth Management today, 404-890-5606, or visit nicholaswealth.com. Aim to safeguard your future today.
Nicholas Wealth is an independent financial services firm that uses a variety of different investment strategies.
Okay, who just opened your Obamacare or Marketplace renewal and almost fell off that chair? Hey, 35%, and it's not even any better? You're not crazy. They keep jacking the premium and giving you less. I don't know about this stuff, but I know who does. I go to Steven, the health insurance doctor. I send people there because he's been doing this 16 years. He wins awards for this stuff. He helps the self-employed, 1099, small business owners, the people actually paying for their own insurance. You bet you're going to get corporate-style coverage, nationwide PPO. How about lower zero deductibles, plans that pay you cash benefits when you use them? And he does it all around the year-round there because, you know what, he's independent. He's got multiple carriers to quote. A lot of you are going to see that premium go right down instead of up. And in some cases, saving us 60% over that renewal number. He works for you, not Washington. Here's the number, 678-523-0759. 678-523-0759. Or go to healthinsurancedoctor.net. It's Steven, not a call center. Your plan, your savings, and tell him the Kibber sent you.
A born leader never rests. The GLE SUV continues to advance its legacy with intuitive technology, rich refinement, and all-hybrid power, including a plug-in model. From safety to style, leadership is a GLE family value. Get an exceptional offer on the 2025 Mercedes-Benz GLE 350 SUV. Just $759 per month for 36 months with $62.13 due at signing, exclusively from RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this vehicle and many other models during the Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration, now through December 1st. Special lease rate available only to qualified customers exclusively from Mercedes-Benz Financial Service through RBM of Atlanta, Sandy Springs through December 1st, 2025. Excludes tax, tag, title, and Georgia Lemon Law fees. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this and other exciting offers. Visit us at rbmofatlanta.com or call us at 770-390-0700 for details.
Extra 106.3 is live on your ride home with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder from 3 to 6 p.m.
After last year, 2 years ago, dealing with Social Security Administration and what pains in the butt they are, incompetent and slow and evil. Now I'm dealing with the process of looking ahead toward Medicare.
Oh, boy.
And that's even worse. The government and the healthcare industry goes out of its way to confuse you so you make the wrong mistake and you basically give more money away than you need to.
The Kimmer Show on Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. So, if you're shielded from things, you automatically are shocked when you find out the things you're shielded from exist. I'll give you an example. My son went to public schools for the majority of his education, but for 2 years he went to Christian school where we go to church. Some of the kids, they loved talking to Jacob because he had been to public schools and he could tell about all the crazy.
What's it like, man?
Yeah, dude, I'm not kidding.
I've seen Stand By Me.
Dude.
Is it like that?
I'm telling you, those kids were like, hang on, people do what? You know, because, I mean, and Perimeter where my son went was great. It was a great experience. It was good for him. They taught him so many skills, and then, of course, in a faith-based environment.
That's why kids run away and do whatever they want to, right?
That's right.
Those are all bad kids.
You'd be surprised at how many questions. When he'd come home, he would, you wouldn't believe what little Johnny asked me today, you know?
Hey, have you seen Dangerous Minds? It's like gangs, right?
So it was always like that. So but the reason I bring all this up, if you live in a bubble, you don't know. You don't know. You have no idea of things that go on around the world.
This is a quick story. When I was in college, when I first got there, because of where I grew up, where there was 3 synagogues around me, I thought everyone had as many Jewish friends as I did. I got to a private Methodist university to go play baseball and go to college. And I'm looking around. I'm like, where are all the Jewish people?
Right.
I didn't know.
Yeah. It was just because
that's just how I grew up. I was like, these are all my friends, and I just thought everybody grew up like this.
Growing up in Dalton, Georgia, I didn't even realize we had a Catholic church. I didn't know. Everybody went to the Baptist church. You know what I mean?
What do you mean about this Catholicism?
What?
Yeah, sometimes there's just bubbles.
I just didn't know.
And it's not you being a bad person.
No, of course
it's
not.
Just, here's what it is.
It's your experience. Patton Oswalt, you probably know him. He was voice in Ratatouille. He was on Parks and Rec. He was on King of Queens. He was on Goldberg. I think he even did an episode or 2 of Seinfeld. He sat down with Bill Maher. He lives in an incredible bubble. And Bill Maher had to pop the bubble because the only place this lib gets is, you'll hear them joke about only being on Blue Sky. But when we talked about some of the crazy things going on in Europe in that last segment during story time, he had no idea about like Pakistani rape gangs that are actually happening. He had no idea. Listen to this.
I hate to admit this. This country is not as mature as it thinks it is. We elected Obama, and clearly the country freaked out. And we're still living in that freak out. We are not as progressed and evolved and intelligent as we think we are because we keep freaking out about this stuff.
Well,
you know?
The left freak out too.
What did they freak out about?
Gender, race, parenthood, schools, homelessness,
COVID,
crime, the border. Education, like we stopped being a scientific people. Like it's not scientific.
But the left certainly stayed scientific.
No, they didn't.
Why not?
Because they think gender bull that they went way too far with. That's not scientific.
But how did I'm not trying to. How did they go too far with like gender stuff?
If I was teaching children, what I would teach them is. There is a default setting for the human being, which is heterosexuality, but that doesn't mean every person is that, and we should completely respect everyone who isn't that, but we understand that's called a minority, and what makes us a great country is that we respect minorities. We don't think they're lesser just because they're lesser in numbers. That's not what we started to teach, which was that every baby is, I don't know, let's not even put it on the birth certificate. That's what they wanted.
Were we teaching that?
Yes,
When were we teaching that?
Teaching it. It was a law here in California. See,
to teach what?
Don't put sex on the birth certificate. We'll see. Now we've passed that period. Now
I'm sorry, I don't remember that. I mean,
I know because it doesn't get in the Blue Sky bubble.
Wait a minute, I'm not just on Blue Sky.
Isn't it
I really think that's a lot of.
Isn't it crazy? He had no idea that they did that in the state that he lives in. That's the bubble.
That's the bubble. That's the, I don't see any of this. To claim that you're a scientific people. Yet again, I went through COVID with these people. It's like, you're busy listening to Rachel Maddow. I'm sorry. I'm listening to Peter Corey.
Yeah.
Peter Corey is on your side, and yet he's going, why are these people nuts?
Yeah.
I was like, who was treating people? Was Rachel Maddow? No, Peter Corey was. When it comes to climate change, still the same thing. Now, some of them are still slow on the uptake. The climate change is over. You'll have to catch up with me when you catch up with me.
No kidding.
But to think that Patton Oswalt didn't have any idea that the state of California actually looked at childbirth and were encouraging not to put a gender on the birth certificate until they figured it out. I'm sorry, that's not based in science. You're either born a man or a woman. Now, the other part of that, and what Bill Maher, I don't believe, got to when he talked about, here's the default, it's heterosexuality. If it's not, then you're a minority, and deserving of love and respect. What he didn't say is that when I find out, for instance, if I have a son and I determine at 8 years old, 10 years old, 15 years old, he's gay, I don't say, well, why don't we chop your penis off and make you a woman?
Or alternatively, if it's a little girl,
that's the difference.
Off? Yeah.
That's what they were pushing, which was never. That's why, and they are oddly silent about this stuff, except for, what was it? The Gays Against Grooming? Mm-hmm. Like the only group that goes after this mentality of saying, why are you trying to extinguish homosexual people? Why are you trying to extinguish the gay and lesbian population? Because that's what they're trying to do. You want to talk about the other great replacement theory?
Yeah.
You can't just be a gay man or a gay woman.
Interesting, fascinating that Bill Maher was willing to show the bubble that Patton Oswalt and people like him live in. And I would contend it doesn't take being in Hollywood to live in that bubble. My Aunt Peg lives in that bubble. Everybody on Blue Sky lives in that bubble. They all live in that bubble.
Blue Sky's such a weird place.
Such a weird place.
I'm going to go over there right now.
He says, I'm not just on Blue Sky, but that's where you're predominantly, sir. When we continue, the bill Trump will sign as soon as it hits his desk next on Extra 106.3.
It's time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
Sunday morning. Donna likes to watch Jane Pauley's Sunday morning show on CBS. So that means so do I. This past Sunday morning, there was a feature on Atlanta, homelessness in Atlanta. And as you might predict, a lot of it was, these poor, pitiful people caught in these circumstances. Well, let me tell you something. This so-called homeless expert leading the correspondent around Atlanta introduced her to one homeless woman with 8 children, 8 living in an extended stay hotel. Then introduced to another woman with 4 children, again in an extended stay hotel. And predictably, life was tough. They're relying on food stamps. There is no husband or father in the picture providing any assistance at all. And we're getting the story of the excessive prices that are charged for these people to live in these extended stay hotels or motels or whatever. Okay, 2 thoughts. Well, a lot of thoughts, but 2 I'll share. Number 1, not one thing was said during this whole segment about women having babies they flat out cannot afford to raise. It was as if that is totally a normal thing for a woman to do. I can't afford this baby, and the baby daddy ain't going to pay me any money, but I'm going to have the baby anyway. It's more company, maybe more checks. Nobody seems to want to address the problem of women having children they can't afford to raise. And then what about the price in these extended stay hotels? Well, I happen to know somebody that owns those. You ought to see the way they are left when the homeless family moves out. The repair costs are extensive. Gee, I wonder if that could have anything to do with why they have to charge so much. Tell the whole story, CBS, even though your target audience might not appreciate that. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
Take a pause.
Kennel cough is like the flu. It goes around.
Dr. Michael Bailey, president of the American Veterinary Medical Association, on the current surge of a potentially killer disease, kennel cough, also known as Bordetella. He says your dog should get the vaccine for it, but that vaccine is not always 100% effective.
Kennel cough can change its genetic pattern And the vaccine, which may have been totally effective for it at one time, may not be as effective for it now.
Rumors have been going around on the internet that the kennel cough vaccine's worthless. But Dr. Bailey says if your dog does get kennel cough, the vaccine's going to make it milder. And as for pet vaccines in general, he says they're safe.
Talk to your veterinarian. Make sure they know what the circumstances are, and they're going to tailor any vaccine to your particular pet.
Take a pause. Jill Nato, Fox News.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 9 a.m. hour is presented by Southern Exteriors. Quality and precision you can rely on.
Power to the people. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump just wrote that on Truth Social, calling on Congress to reform health care by allowing subsidies to go directly to Americans, not insurance companies who he wrote have ripped off America long enough. As Democrats keep pushing for an extension of Obamacare tax credits set to expire at year's end, driving up the cost of coverage for millions of people. As Democrats blame the president for making things unaffordable. He says, though, his policies keep bringing prices down.
My pledge to every family and every small business is that I will not rest until you are richer, stronger, more successful, happier, till you've gotten a piece of the American dream.
Addressing a McDonald's conference of restaurant executives and franchisees last night, he called himself
the very first former McDonald's fry cook ever to become president of the United States.
Referencing his campaign event last year, making and serving French fries. We got our first new batch of economic data now that the government's back open. First-time unemployment claims for the week ending October 18th rose to 232,000. The number still collecting jobless benefits rose to 1.957 million, the most in 4 years. The House plans to vote today to compel the release of more Epstein files.
Every mention of Trump, they're going to bring it out day after day after day because the Democrats have nothing.
That's Republican Congressman Tim Burchett. President Trump's urged GOP lawmakers to support the resolution, saying there's nothing to hide in the push for more information in the investigation into the late Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking of underage girls. Saudi Arabia's crown prince will hold talks today with President Trump at the White House, where Fox's Mark Meredith reports.
The U.S. appears eager to deepen its economic and defense ties with the Saudis. Trump telling reporters on Monday he's ready to sell the kingdom F-35 jets, but there are concerns the aircraft's technology, which is considered top of the line, may end up in the hands of other countries, including China.
Some people are offline and frustrated this morning. There's been a widespread internet outage through infrastructure provider Cloudflare. America's listening to Fox News.
So Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $29.95 a month for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This top-tier plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you'll save over 50% every month for the rest of your life. You might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer expires 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes, and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Want weather? Grab your phone. Need traffic? Grab your phone. Conservative news and talk, also on your phone. Get the Extra 106.3 app.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra and Extra 106.3.
Tug sad.
No, Tug not sad. Tug happy. It's taken me a minute. Y'all have carried me like a lumberjack today. I've just been in the ditch and can't get myself out of the ditch.
I would imagine after the work I'm planning on doing, we're having to frame some walls. Then I'm going to watch a Spurs game, no Wemby for a few weeks.
Yeah, you got a little calf strain.
Got a little calf strain. So there might be some sad drinking done around the house. So if I'm dragging a little bit tomorrow, pick me up.
I'll do my best.
Because I went to bed nice and early because the Cowboys took care of business last night. So I was like, all right, we're good.
Yeah.
Although, I needed 3 more yards
to hit your fantasy bets
to win a good little fun pot.
Okay.
I needed Brock Bowers. I took him on the over. I think I had him at like 74.5 on receiving yards. Finished like 71, 72.
No, that's the worst.
That was the only one I needed.
Close but no cigar, they say.
So
got a nice compliment from our friend Phil Holloway, who does a true crime podcast on the Megyn Kelly Network. and comes in here with us once in a while when he can. He's been trying to get in here last few weeks. There's been a couple topics I thought would be good to have him on to dive into from a legal perspective. But he's in court every day.
He's busy.
Dude is.
When
working.
he's not doing the podcast
That's right.
on Megyn Kelly's network, then he's being a real dude in a real courtroom.
That's exactly right. And he was talking about just the story time that he went through, and talked about the SSRIs and smoking weed and all the ADHD medications that some of those people are on.
It's wild that at one point our government, the CIA, was trying to experiment in mind control and to see whether or not they could entice frustration and violence. And the entire time for 23 years trying to work on that. And it actually took moving forward 40, 50 years in the future to go, hey, these people are willingly taking this stuff for their issues they're having.
We don't need to convince them.
We don't need to do anything to them. We don't need to dose them with LSD like we were doing in the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
We just need to recruit them.
That's right.
We just need to find them. And it's happening all over the world. That's the crazy thing. All over the world. Tug and Los until 10, 9 o'clock hour, brought to you by Southern Exteriors. Your home exterior solution since 1999. About 13 days away from the 1st of December, I believe that's the deadline to nominate someone. You, family member, friend, somebody you go to church with, veteran, to have their siding replaced with the best in the business, James Hardy Siding from Southern Exteriors.
Also, if you happen to have gotten over to your home computer or you're at work and you're checking us out, and for some reason some websites won't come up, it's fine.
Yeah, we aren't.
We have, and Fox News and Fox Business News have covered it. Some of the guys are talking about it in the office. We've had a large-scale break in the internet.
It just seems like it happens a lot lately, doesn't it?
Well, I've got a friend of mine. He's been an executive over at Rackspace for years and years and years. And when you joke around about him, it's like, so what do you do, John? He's like, well, I'm tasked with the protection of about 20% of the internet.
Nothing pressing.
No big deal.
Nothing.
But that's, there are certain companies that handle this stuff. And when they do have an outage or an issue, there's a reason why you're getting all sorts of hiccups when it comes to X. I've tried to go to a number of different websites that just won't come up. That's just part of what's happening right now. So if you're having issues, just know there's people around the country that are having issues. It's not your system. It's not your phone. You have done nothing wrong. Look at me. It's not your fault.
That's right. It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
Feel like we're in a Robin Williams movie.
That's right.
If you know. I'm sure most people do.
Not you too, Tug.
That's right. So good.
Funny how Blue Sky is still up.
Yeah. Maybe they don't use Amazon Web Services. They use something different. They use something that insulates them.
X is back.
Oh, well, there we go.
Yeah, see.
It's been on and off all morning.
Yeah.
It's kind of there and then be gone, there and be gone. But we're glad you're here on Xtra 106.3. We appreciate you, appreciate your time. And I think everybody agrees that anybody involved in the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing with victimizing these young women deserves to be brought to justice. And I want to stress this, and I've said it a bunch of times, I'll say it again, Mike Johnson said it, when Trump calls it a hoax, and that's the thing, people got so sideways with that. He's not calling what happened to those young women a hoax. He knew and kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of the Mar-a-Lago club because of it. What the hoax is that the Democrats keep trying to connect him to it. They can't. In sworn testimony, Trump's done nothing wrong. In books written about the Epstein stuff, Trump's done nothing wrong. Lawyers, hey, Trump, will you give us your time? Much as you need. He's the one that helped and cooperated like no one else. And now, when asked, he's finally fed up. He's done. He's had it. He said, if it crosses my desk, and they're supposed to vote in the House today if those documents will be released, will you sign it? And he says yes.
Do you want to see that pass the Senate? Would you sign that bill if it gets to your desk?
I do want to. Here's what I want. We have nothing to do with Epstein. The Democrats do. All of his friends were Democrats. You look at this Reid Hoffman, you look at Larry Summers, Bill Clinton, they went to his island all the time, and many others. They're all Democrats. All I want for people to recognize a great job that I've done on pricing, on affordability, because we brought prices way down, but they're going way lower. on energy, on ending 8 wars, and another one coming pretty soon, I believe. We've done a great job. And I hate to see that deflect from the great job we've done.
Yeah. So if it is dragging this administration down, if it is preventing us from getting things done because we're always answering these questions, then yes, absolutely. Put it all out there. I'm ready for it to be done and over with. But if you've noticed, every time the Democrats, they have blocked the release of grand jury files, all kinds of Epstein information. They blocked it every time in the House. And then we even brought it up early this morning, the judges that keep the Epstein grand jury files sealed, all appointed by Democrats. Richard Berman, appointed by Bill Clinton. Paul Engelmeyer, appointed by Barack Obama. Robin Rosenberg, appointed by Barack Obama. Why would they do that? Why would these people? Because they know they need this illusion. They have nothing else. What else do they have to talk about? Shutting the government down? Do you think they want to talk about that? No, that's failing too.
I'm really looking forward to this being one of those backfires where they have spun this tale for so long. And it's really just a rehash of what happened from 2016 to, let's say, 2018, 2019. When every news network, all they could talk about, Russian collusion. Russian collusion. Trump is a Russian asset. I wonder what the Kremlin has on Trump. Did you know that he urinated on a bed that Barack Obama slept in? That was in this dossier. I mean, that's what it was for 2.5 years. Robert Mueller's going to get Trump. They have him dead to rights. It's over. And then by the time he found out, well, Robert Mueller was not in a mental capacity to do anything. In fact, he's actually living in an assisted living home because he's no longer capable of taking care of himself. That's who they rolled out there. And then when you started getting down to it, it was, well, what do you have on Trump? Nothing.
Nothing. We got to.
It was just strictly to drive animosity and to try to drive a wedge between what he wanted to accomplish and what the other Republicans would vote for. They don't want to vote with a Russian asset. You don't want to do that.
No, by no means. And it was crazy to see. We played the audio yesterday. I think it's not crazy. It's actually very commonsensical. Common sense. When even Stephen A. Smith, he was like, what have you been waiting on? When Biden was on, you had 4 years. Why wouldn't you sharing it then? And he realizes.
What was the problem? You had all the houses of Congress.
You know it. He knows it. We all know it. It's so clear. This is the only thing you have to hang over his head. The 34 felonies didn't work. Fonnie Willis saying Trump tried to overthrow the election in Georgia. That didn't work. They gave him a mug shot, going back to Los's backfires, that hangs in the Oval Office. Letitia James, she was going to get him. That was going to be it. That was it. They were going to get him. And then that falls apart. And now she's under investigation. It's funny the way it all works.
By the way, on MSNBC, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
PMS Now.
That's right, yes.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, Epstein survivors speak out ahead of House vote. So I've seen she's pivoted once again to, I stepped in it.
Yep.
Now let me push this, because what is she doing? She knows that Donald Trump doesn't have anything to do with this. Let's make sure we get through this, get the vote done, and we're doing it for the victims.
Yeah. I got to make sure I look like I'm doing something.
For the victims.
Because I'm doing nothing, really.
No, you're just, you find yourself on MS Now.
But they love it.
Not where they're, basically painting devil horns on her.
Right. Now she's welcomed.
Now she's, whoa, okay. Listen to what Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying.
Remember, she was the lightning rod. She was Trump's biggest ally. Now they're at odds, so let's put her on.
But this is the giant backfire. They're actually airing this like, hey, we almost got him.
Yeah, again, they're thinking this.
They're going to vote for it. We're going to get him. We got him. We got this guy.
Speaking right before Ro Khanna, the Democrat. We've got him. He's within our grasp. And little do they know, they don't got anything.
Please vote for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see how many. I mean, we need 218.
Let's see what Democrats actually do on the House floor and on the Senate floor. Let's see if that bill gets to Donald Trump's desk. Because so far it's been block every time. They've blocked it every time.
Can I talk about 4D chess?
Yes.
Which would be the most hilarious item that could possibly happen is if over a 24, 48-hour period, Marjorie Taylor Greene did this in order to reel the Democrats in to then get them to vote for this.
Could be.
Because they're all talking about, like, up there.
Yeah.
They're making a point about how, like, well, Donald Trump called her a traitor. Like, in their mind, like, she's doing this to get back at him.
That's right.
Oh, let's see.
What happens if?
That would be some 4D chess.
The New York Times has already said that there was an olive branch extended between those two. And the New York Times has already said, okay, they're moved past the rift. It was there for a minute, now it's gone. New York Times knows it. So that would be...
Would that not be...
Dude, that'd be...
Would that not be Usual Suspects, Kaiser Sose sort of stuff?
That'd be burning down PMS.
Did you ever see Usual Suspects, by the way?
I didn't know.
One of the great... Jerry, is it not one of the great endings in movie history as far as Sixth Sense sort of stuff where you suddenly go, oh,
it was him.
It was him. I'll ruin it for you because it's 30 years old.
Yeah.
But the entire time they're talking about the bad guy. The entire time. What he's pulled off, what he's done. And as the movie comes to an end, the investigator didn't realize he was talking to the dude
the whole time,
who was that guy the whole time because he's a gimp.
Yeah.
And then you find out he's not a gimp.
Oh, my.
And you're like, oh, like the whole movie, like that would be the Kaiser Sose moment of, oh, it's all been voted on? Oh, I'm signing it. And who's it all burning? Democrats.
Which we feel pretty confident that's going to be the case anyway.
You wouldn't call for it to be out there. You wouldn't call for it for this amount of time to be out there. You wouldn't try and have even guys like Tim Burchett take it to the House floor. Tim Burchett couldn't be more of a conservative from a red district.
He is a conservative's conservative.
He went and tried to do a floor vote, and the Democrats still are like, nope.
Not going to do it.
But then again, the Democrats, in my opinion, have been they've been entrapped in their own trap. Like now they can't vote against this.
No, of course not. If they do, it's going to be talked about forever and ever.
Because now I have your name attached to the vote. Why do you continue to vote against this? Well,
can't help but notice you said you wanted it. You got what you wanted, and you still said no.
The nice part is the betting markets now have that it's got a 98% chance of passing.
Yeah. I expected it will. And I expected it ended up on Donald Trump's desk, and I expect there to be some Hollywood people burned down, a lot of Democrats burned down. Look, there'll probably be some Republicans too, but the one that they want to burn down won't. It's as simple as that.
I think there's somebody going through that thing with not a highlight or whatever the opposite of it is, and just redacting right now.
Well, you're going,
but whatever
they'll
we
say
get is
national
gonna be
security.
totally neutered.
They'll say
you're going to have national security. You're going to have people that were involved in this. Remember, anybody who still works for any sort of agency, any sort of intelligence agency or law enforcement, their names are always redacted. The victims' names are always redacted. Now, what do you get from there? They always redact if there was a ways and means. You know, if there was some sort of method used to entrap this person, that's always redacted. I don't know how much we're going to get, but at least you'll be able to say, all right,
you got them.
That's all out there.
Yeah, you got them.
Because the only people that, in my opinion, that will have their names redacted are legal officials, as far as people that were involved in this, and victims.
I would have thought maybe that those text messages between the Democrat from the U.S. Virgin Islands and Jeffrey Epstein, I wouldn't have figured those things would have gotten out there.
No, that was surprising.
Cow. So if that gets out there, I'm thinking, even if it's not everything you thought or everybody you thought, there will be some people burned down. Well, she should.
This has been the misplay over the last 48, 72 hours. When the shutdown came to an end, and the Democrats are ready to roll with this story of, look at Trump named in these files. It's like, hold on, this is the same set of files that were out 6 months before then. And what did lovely Tug do? Tug noticed, just as a few other astute people did. Hold on a second, why is the New York Times telling Epstein that he's being investigated by the federal authorities?
And then another reporter working with him on how to get leverage on Donald Trump?
So that would be your initial question, followed by, so why is Epstein feeding information to a House committee
while in session
asking these questions?
Asking questions. Dude, that is as filthy That is unbelievable. That's the biggest scandal in the world.
Kind of sounds like he's on the team.
Yeah, it does. Well, he's already told you he hated Donald Trump in the emails that they re-released.
He was such a good friend. They were so in it together that he hated him.
Can't stand him. We got to figure out how to use his position for our benefit.
Man, I really can't wait for this to backfire.
Yeah,
this should be and it's going to be that. It's a giant eye roll for me when I would hear Glenn Beck, and fortunately you can hear him 10 to noon, and I like Glenn Beck. Some of the stuff is a little bit out there, but I like Glenn Beck. When Glenn Beck was doing this like 2 or 3 months ago, and he's like, "This is for the Republic," and I said, Trump voters don't care. Trump voters do not care. Now they've made us care to the point where we just want to stick it in their face.
And I do believe there's a difference in caring when it comes to the women that were involved. Like, I care about that. Like, I want them to be made whole. I want, like, what happened to them is awful. But knowing what the Democrats were using it for,
that's what I don't
care about. I just want to make it clear because I don't want people to think the wrong thing. Just like when they say or hear Donald Trump say it's a hoax. He's not saying what those women went through was a hoax. He's saying the way it's being used by the Democrat Party to go after him is a hoax, and it is.
Here's the deal. I don't care about Russian collusion, but now you've made me have to care about Russian collusion to the point where now I want your head for engineering Russian collusion. I didn't care about Hillary and her server. I cared about beating her. But because of what you've done now, I'm like, why didn't you go ahead and lock her up as we were planning on? Did you think she was just kidding around with what she was planning? I want my pound of flesh. I don't care that you have a guy who decided, if he did, to commit suicide in federal prison before being basically locked up for the rest of his life. And then you had his victims that were compensated out of the money. I mean, we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars they were compensated on. They still want their pound of flesh as if they're, and fine, you're entitled to it. But the fact that Democrats can still continue to make this into a political football, that's what I don't care for. That's why I'm like, fine, you can have, I'm like Donald Trump, you can have all of it.
Get it all.
In fact, and don't even redact it. Just here you go.
Get it out.
Have all of it.
And that's the crazy thing about the redactions. Because you talked about the Hillary server. There's no redactions there. She did everything, and it got to the people that didn't need it, our biggest and most frightening enemies. When you think about the Chinese and the Russians and all of the information that Hillary let fly and didn't care. You didn't care that they got that information. We should have the actual, I don't want nothing redacted, to your point.
Can I ask another question? I got to look into this a little bit more. Because these poor women are showing pictures of what they looked like back when they were abused.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, as a parent, how did that ever occur that way? Like, I would never let my daughter that young into that sort of situation.
I'm not sure that many of them had solid home lives.
Yeah, they were
exploited.
They were scouted.
Absolutely right. Because you're right. You as a parent, you never, ever. I'm not letting my kid go off.
My daughter's 14. The minute she's like 16, she's like, oh, so I got invited by a billionaire to go to an island and work for him. I'd be like, no, zero, zilch, not going to happen.
Find you a job at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, you know what? Let's go be with God's chicken.
There you go. Never trust the government. That's the story. And that's story time. Next on Extra.
Get the latest breaking news and insight from the biggest conservative voices in the South when you follow Extra 106.3 across all your social media platforms. Find us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and YouTube at Extra 106.3.
Hey, it's Los. Good morning. Let's talk about True Prep. First off, when you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. I want you to think about that. When you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Well, that is the idea behind True Prep. First off, 1000 Cobb Parkway in Marietta. You can go into the store, but also go online, trueprep.com. That's truprep.com. You can check their areas where they have their sales and also their clearance items. It's updated every single day. For instance, right now, if you want the Glock 19 Gen 4 or the Glock 19X, both of them currently in stock, and they are on sale. Also, the Radical Firearms RF-15, that is on sale as well, $399.99, with also some of the lowest prices you're going to find on ammunition. Now, I'm big into making sure that I got food on hand in case of any crazy thing happens, weather or otherwise. That's my stay ready and be ready. That's just the way I do it. But whether you're an outdoor enthusiast, whether you want to make sure you're ready for home defense, or whenever you are out and about with your family, you want to make sure that you're ready for any situation. That's what True Prep can help you out with. 1000 Cobb Parkway in Marietta. Go to truprep.com. Prepare today for a worry-free tomorrow with True Prep.
This is Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers with my dad, Mike. Dad, what's the all-time best Christmas gift?
Diamond studs. Everybody needs a pair.
And ours don't break the bank. Real diamonds set in gold from just $275.
Yep, haven't raised those prices since the 80s.
How on earth does that work?
We get them straight from the source, just like we've done since 1939, and handpick the best and brightest.
And with D. Geller & Son's lifetime upgrade, get 100% of what you paid towards a bigger pair anytime for life.
We also have diamond jackets for $5.95 that go around the studs to instantly change the look.
And that's just one thing. We've got birthstone jewelry, stackable rings and bracelets.
Our best holiday selection ever at prices that can't be beat.
So come spend the holidays with the experts at D. Geller & Son in Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
Affordable jewelry for everyone is at D. Geller & Son.
Attention extra listeners. The end of the year is closing in. Are your retirement plans ready? We at Master Plan Retirement Consultants are holistic retirement planners, including income and growth planning, tax strategies, and estate and legacy planning. Each piece of the retirement puzzle must fit together cohesively because we know a change in one area can inevitably affect the others. Our boutique team serves you with fiduciary care, ensuring every step moves you closer to a confident, sustainable retirement. Don't wait. There's still time to adjust your plan before year end. Schedule your complimentary consultation now at masterplanretire.com. Master Plan Retirement Consultants. Plan well and prosper.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
With the war in Ukraine, we've heard about a lot of people in both countries who are living through the nightmare of war. But there are also elderly Jewish people who are also trapped in this conflict, facing unbearable poverty. Galina is a 96-year-old Holocaust survivor who has spent her life in the same village. She's sick, she's alone, and it's bitter cold. And today, like every day, she has to decide whether to spend what little money she has on food or medication or heating. The Bible tells us when you bless elderly Jews living in poverty like Galina, you'll receive blessings in return. Through the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews and your generous donation, you can bring hope to the people in need. Your gift of just $25 will help provide a food box packed full of life-saving essentials that will help feed an elderly person struggling to survive. Don't delay. Your gift today will help provide the life-saving food and hope that Galina and many like her desperately need. To rush your gift, call 888-488-IFCJ. That's 888-488-4325. Or give online at glenforthefellowship.org. That's glenforthefellowship.org.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Tuesday, November 18th. The FBI seized thousands of kilos of meth hidden in boxes of jalapenos imported from Mexico in North Georgia. The bust is part of Operation Take Back America by the FBI. 12 suspects were arrested and have pled guilty to drug trafficking charges. Several of those arrested were Mexican nationals. Officials say they have ties to Mexican drug cartels. The state of Georgia is rolling out more than $42 million in grants to help combat the opioid crisis. The funding comes from multiple national opioid lawsuit settlements. It'll reach 109 projects across the state. Programs receiving funding focus on early intervention and prevention, recovery, workforce training, and housing. And the city of Alpharetta voted to approve a tax allocation for the redevelopment of the North Point Mall. A recent study proposes that the site be redeveloped for about 2,600 residential housing units and nearly 3 million square feet of commercial space, including retail, hotels, and office space. Today's weather partly cloudy with a high of 73 degrees. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10, 9 o'clock hour brought to you by Southern Exteriors, your home exterior solution since 1999, 8779 Southern, southernexteriors.co. Register. Get somebody nominated for this James Hardy siding giveaway. December 1st is the deadline. Make sure it's done by then at southernexteriors.co, southernexteriors.co. They are going to remodel someone's siding with the best in the business, James Hardy siding, at no cost to you, no cost to the nominee, whether a neighbor or a friend, family, somebody you go to church with. southernexteriors.co, top left corner. It'll be a Christmas giveaway button. You can fill out all the information there. southernexteriors.co. It is story time.
Settle in and get comfortable, folks. It's story time with Uncle Los.
Oh, story time too.
That's right.
I was so happy because I submitted a couple to Jure, and he looked at me. He goes, 2 story times, and I was like, yeah. I was like, we're a happy day going on here. So I want to start with going back to an event from 2017, 8 years ago. And this gentleman's name, S. Matthew Lau. Now, one of the ideas that's been occurring since 2020 is, does your government ever experiment on you?
Well, I believe we've discovered the answer is yes.
Because I do recall, like when we talk about, like, you know, what happened with the Tuskegee experiment, and you're like, I can't believe that this government actually did this to black men to see what the effects of what syphilis was going to be on them over a 30-year period. And hey, we're treating you for it, but we're not. We're keeping an eye on seeing how this affects you. And I remember when I would argue with people about COVID, I would say, well, we have to start from the general idea and the understanding that you have been experimented on.
Right.
No, I wasn't. That did not happen. No, that's a lie. It wasn't until, and it still didn't really resonate, it wasn't until Barack Obama talked about having the largest experiment done on society where I was like, I told you. It's like, he's talking about the largest trial done on society. Maybe you should start thinking about this. Well, again, let's go back to 2017. And because of what happened in the subsequent years, people are well within their right to question everything and not believe what they're told. If you could bring up a 3-letter agency, like if I was to say, let's just say I said CIA, what would you think?
Questionable.
Okay, there you go. FBI?
Really questionable.
CDC?
Don't trust them for a second.
The FDA?
Yeah, they tell me things that are healthy for a long time that were never healthy.
This is what has happened now. This is the distrust. So let's go back to S. Matthew Lau in 2017. And he was talking about how one of the threats when it comes to, because he was still talking about climate change is now over with. We already won. Thank you. Victory is ours. But he was talking about, well, remember, cows are so dangerous.
Oh my gosh, we got to get rid of all of them. They fart.
It's like they fart. And it must be so dangerous to have these animals that all they do is affect the climate. Yes, can you imagine how 1 million head of cattle do anything close to, I don't know,
a volcano eruption?
Or Bill Gates' jet.
Or Taylor Swift's jet.
Actually, underwater volcanoes do far more than 1 million heads of cattle.
Yep.
10 million heads of cattle. However many you want. We have volcanoes going off that are so much more impactful from a changing of the atmosphere standpoint.
And have since the beginning of time, by the way.
Not just 100 years.
Yeah.
150. How about 8 billion? 15 billion? It's kind of what the numbers are. So again, going over, this is S. Matthew Lau, and here's him talking about those cows.
The last thing I'll say is just the human engineering. I think that with this with this ability to synthesize human genome, we can actually do a lot of things. There's actually a lot of opportunities for this to solve big world problems. So one thing is the climate change. And there, I'll just use, sort of climate change is a really big problem. We don't really know how to solve it. But it turns out that we can use human engineering to help us address climate change. So I'll give 2 examples. So one is that people eat too much meat, right? And if they were to cut down on their consumption of meat, then it would actually really help the planet. But people are not willing to give up meat. Yeah, some people will be willing to, but other people, they may be willing to, but they have a weakness of will. They say, wow, this steak is just too juicy. I can't do it. I'm one of those, by the way. So, so here's the thought, right? So it turns out that we know a lot about, we have these intolerance to, for example, I have milk intolerance. And there's some people are intolerant to crayfish. So possibly we can use human engineering to make it the case that we're intolerant to certain kinds of meat, to certain kinds of bovine proteins. And there's actually analogs of this in life. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick, where if it bites you, you will become allergic to meat.
So you do have, and this is one of the things that you should be aware of. There is it's like alpha gal. Basically, it's a reaction that the body has to red meat if it's ever bitten by an infected Lone Star tick. And the Lone Star ticks have been proliferating across all of basically North America. That is something where we've already had them move largely through Georgia, and now it's like moving westward. And what gets rid of the Lone Star tick? Well, don't go outside. But like chickens.
Yeah, just natural predators.
Natural predators end up eating up those ticks. So
possums and things.
Possums. Man, the opossum is great.
Dude, they are terrific.
So
they're ugly, but they're terrific.
You have this. This is a story from the past week. First death linked to meat allergy spread by ticks. University of Virginia School of Medicine researchers have identified the first death caused by what is commonly called the meat allergy being spread by ticks. It was a 47-year-old man in New Jersey. Had an allergic reaction. Turns out he'd been bitten by a Lone Star tick. Here's the reaction. He ends up dying. Now, the fun part about this, if there is some fun to be derived, is that because of what happened in 2020, because of the breakdown of every single three-letter agency and our belief in them, I don't believe that this generation, the one before me or the one after me, is going to believe in anything that comes out of these people's mouths as long as they're free-thinking people.
Why would they? They've given you no reason to trust them.
You will never believe it. I have never spoke more negatively of doctors in my entire life.
Nobody has. Everybody held them in the highest of regard up until COVID.
Like, I now have doctors a smidgen ahead of lawyers, and lawyers are a smidgen ahead of stripper. Okay? That's the way I look at it. Now, yeah, every now and then you do need a lawyer and a doctor and sometimes a stripper. So there is like some sort of use for them. I used to look at it as, hey, sports radio host, just barely above stripper. Now I'm like, I didn't partake in any of this misinformation, throwing around stuff that was not helpful to you. So when you have somebody point out on X, you'll never convince me that Bill Gates didn't do this. That's funny. You also have Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh ended up pointing this out yesterday when it came to Lone Star ticks, meat allergies. Mm-hmm. He says, the powers that be want you to stop eating meat. Now there's a tick that makes you allergic to meat. This is an extremely advantageous, quotes, coincidence for them. Well, at least the good news is that they would never lie to us about a bioengineered virus.
Yeah, never.
They've always been upfront and honest about the stuff, haven't they?
Yes.
Nothing to see here.
Yes, all good.
I'm not telling you that this has been something that came from Plum Island. For those of you who know Plum Island, look it up. But what I am telling you is that isn't this so convenient? And because of what happened to us all from 2020 to 2021 into 2022, if you are reading these stories and going, that's how they're doing it, there's nothing wrong with you putting on that tinfoil hat.
My wife and I are allergic to nothing. My son, when he was born, allergic to most everything. He had 9 food allergies, dude. Meat, wheat, oats, barley, beef, rice, fish, shellfish, anything that was in food he was allergic to for the most part. It was crazy. Peanut butter and all this. One doctor one time told us maybe, just maybe, it's something to do with a vaccine. Maybe he had some sort of allergic reaction and it caused him to develop these food allergies. Living through COVID, it makes me flash back and go, wonder if that was by accident, if it was just accidental that some sort of vaccine that he got made him allergic to all those things. With my family being allergic to nothing, my wife's family being allergic to nothing. If a tick can make you allergic to something, and a vaccine can cause, maybe tinfoil hat, call me what you want, but it's crossed my mind a million times. And since COVID, I've revisited it because I left it. I didn't even think about it for years and years and years. We go through COVID, and it comes right back to me. I'm glad you're doing this story now.
The reason why you have people that will point to Plum Island. So we've talked about Operation Paperclip before. Mm-hmm. That was the bringing over of the Nazi scientists, not just when it came to building rockets. It also became, when it came to like bioengineers, when it came to medical doctors, we brought them here stuck a lot of them in Huntsville, Alabama, and decided, let's build NASA here. So Werner von Braun, who was he was a Nazi scientist. Okay, he's got like atrocities on his hands. There's Werner von Braun buildings all over that city. You're like, okay, this is talk about changing things.
Odd.
Very Nobel Peace Prize, very Alfred Nobel. But one of the scientists that was brought over was Eric Traub. Like, who's he? Well, Eric Traub was sent over to Plum Island. Plum Island became the Animal Disease Center in 1954. And Eric Traub, as an ex-Nazi scientist, came over under Operation Paperclip, and he was contracted as a consultant in the 1950s. It's in the Army records at Plum Island. And what was the thing he was known for, what he was trying to do as a Nazi scientist? How do you create bioweapons and get them into animals so that we're not talking about nuclear weapons. We're not talking about atomic bombs.
But destroying the entirety of the earth.
How do we get rid of, let's say, an enemy's crops so they can't feed their army, so they can't wage war? That was the use of it. And so that is why, because of our history, you will always have people, when there's suddenly a story about the Lone Star tick and you can't eat meat, we're no longer looking at, for instance, the Chinese as like the great Satan, the Russians as a great Satan. No, there's people within our administration, our government, that looks at us as the problem. Us meat eaters. Us people, well, you guys as meat eaters, but definitely. People that this is what they do. So there you go. There is story time on the most fun conspiracy theory that's come out in the last 24, 48 hours.
No question. But it makes me go back and think about those Chinese students that are at the University of Michigan.
With the bioweapons that been tried to sneak in to perhaps attack our crops. That's what enemies are supposed to do.
That's exactly right. And if it's happening now, it was happening then. And vice versa. And nothing's going to change. People are like, this would work. We haven't nailed it down yet to figure exactly how to do it, but once we do, it's on. We'll change the face of the entire earth. Morning Xtra at Extra 106.3, 9 o'clock hour brought to you by Southern Exteriors, your home exterior solution since 1999, 8779 Southern, southernexteriors.co, southernexteriors.co, doing a full James Hardy siding replacement. Nominate someone today to get that done in time for Christmas. The tears will fall, tears of joy, just like they did last year when we did the full-on roof replacement. Nominate someone, southernexteriors.co, southernexteriors.co. Arguing with fans seems like a bad idea. Next on Extra.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan and driven to Extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Tuesday, November 18th. From the NBA, the Detroit Pistons are now 12-2 and leading the Eastern Conference as they show up to State Farm Arena tonight to take on the 9-5 Atlanta Hawks. The Pistons are on the second game of back-to-back. The Hawks coming off a very successful West Coast road trip and rested. Tip-off is set for 7:30. The next round of the college football playoff rankings will be out tonight. Georgia looking to move into that top four. The reveal is set for 8:30, and the Atlanta Falcons will be without quarterback Michael Penix Jr. for what looks like the remainder of the season. Penix suffered a partially torn ACL in his knee, and the Falcons lost to the Carolina Panthers. Kirk Cousins takes over as the starter. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Thousands of veterans across Georgia are missing out on the benefits they've earned through their service. The Warrior Alliance is changing that by connecting veterans and their families to life-changing resources and support. Tune into the Warrior Alliance Network, our podcast and radio show dedicated to helping veterans succeed after service. Join us every Saturday at 11 a.m. on 106.3 to hear inspiring veteran stories, discover free programs, and learn about career opportunities available to you. Subscribe to the Warrior Alliance YouTube channel today.
Big moments deserve big-time craftsmanship. At Solomon Brothers Jewelers, we've been family-owned and operated since 1982 because we know what it means to show up when it counts. Jaron Solomon here, and that's why we're proud to be an official Tacori jeweler. Each Tacori ring is handcrafted in California, going through 20 elite artisans before it hits your hands. Not mass-produced, not generic, always personal. And with Solomon Brothers, you get lifetime cleanings, unbeatable financing, and the largest Takori selection in Georgia. Stop by a store in Buckhead, Alpharetta, or Sharpsburg. Visit SolomonBrothers.com to book your private appointment. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, where love is in the details and legends are built to last. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs and official jeweler of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
Hey, Braves fans, some things just get better with time, like your love for the Braves and banking with Truist One Checking. It's checking for life, offering everyday essentials like no overdraft fees and a tap-to-pay debit card, and great extras you'll appreciate season after season, like automatic upgrades as your balances grow. Be ready every inning with Truist One Checking. It's life-ready checking that grows with you. Get Truist One Checking today. Truist Bank. Member FDIC.
Hi, it's Los, here with Tom Mitchell, the honest car guy. Tom, you are changing the way people are buying their next pre-owned car or truck. How are you doing it?
We found a better way for customers to buy a car, an honest way, a very transparent way. You pay what we pay plus our honest fee. We even prove it to you by giving you a copy of the bill of sale at the end of the deal. The honest car guy, you'll save an average of $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the price of the car.
Folks, if you want to save thousands on your next pre-owned car or truck, call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or honestcarguy.com.
Hey, this is John Flading, the owner of ATL Turfco. If your grass didn't grow this summer, there's a good chance it won't grow this spring. It's time to think about a custom, low-maintenance, pet-friendly, artificial lawn that will stay green year-round. So this holiday season, give the gift that keeps on giving. A perfect backyard or custom golf green from ATL Turfco. See what's possible for your home. Read our 5-star reviews and book your appointment today at atlturfco.com. Spots are filling up fast, so call now 404-825-7063.
The Dean's List with Janice Dean.
A boy from Idaho who invented an entire special needs center to share his birthday party makes today's Dean's List. Grant Mullen likes to join his dad volunteering at a center for people that live with challenges. His father believes it's important to get your kids involved with community early on in their lives, and he's seen firsthand how it makes a difference. Grant's experience has definitely made an impact. So much so that when his birthday was coming up, he asked his parents if he could invite everyone at the center to come celebrate with him. And when he was asked why he wanted to have everyone at his party, he says because maybe they don't get invited to as many birthday parties as they would like. And he worried that perhaps they didn't get as much love as they all deserve to have in life. The birthday celebration, by the way, was caught on video and everyone was having the greatest time with no one feeling left out. Grant Mullen, you made today's Dean's List. Janice Dean, Fox News.
Stream Clay Travis and Buck Sexton, Glenn Beck, Fox News, and even NASCAR on Sundays. Anywhere on the Extra 106.3 app. Download the app now and get 24/7 access to the live stream, the latest news, and everything you need to know about Atlanta's only conservative talk station. Download the Extra 106.3 app for Apple or Android and check out even more great original content at thepodcastpark.com.
I've never thought fighting with the fans was a good idea. Like, I mean, if you're inviting your fans, they're spending their money to come see you play. Fighting with them seems absurd, seems crazy. Only time that it makes sense is when it's WWE wrestling, right? Because you're there to get them fired up, right? You're the bad guy, the heel as they call it. So then arguing with the fans, that's just part of the show.
I love, because I think this goes two different ways. I love when Trae Young makes it a point to mock the fans in New York City. When he is in their head, he owns them, he's their daddy.
Right.
Like when he was going off in that series, to this day, they hate Trae Young.
Yeah.
And Trae was waving to him, blowing kisses, doing poses, but he was never in an individual fan's face. So
exactly.
That's different.
Separate. And that's actually fun.
Yes, because now you're the heel in the same way.
Which is the way WWF works.
Yeah. For instance, I love when you will see an athlete that'll make a play in an opposing stadium, and sometimes they wave goodbye to the opposing fans.
Right.
Or
as they're departing because of the blowout score.
Or the newer one has been the go to sleep.
Yeah.
They'll take the football and they'll just sleep on it. Or somebody will clasp their hands together and put their head against their hands like shh, time to go sleep.
That's right.
Like, it's bedtime now. You go home.
Yeah, that's
like,
right.
I think that's fun with opposing fans. And I tell you, when somebody does it to me, I'm like, oh, but I'm like, you know what? All right. That's not like going after an individual fan. Well, Draymond Green, who all the discussion of, is Draymond Hall of Famer? I don't know. He's been part of one of the great runs. He's a really good defensive player, but he's always been kind of the coat rider. Like, he's the enforcer.
He
He's what
shows
does.
up when teams are about to be really, really good, like a star team.
Well,
He can make a hell of
I mean,
an open field tackle.
He's only been on one team. He's been on the Golden State Warriors for the entire time that they've been on a run. This year, he's averaging 7 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. He's shooting. Now, this is impossible, okay? He's shooting for a guy who, now he'll shoot some threes, but for a guy who plays as close to the basket as he does, he's shooting 37% from the field.
Shoot, I believe I can do that.
Okay? Like, that's brutal. No one in this league who's of any kind of factor shoots 35% from the field. And I believe that's where this is coming from, because I watched him play.
He's already angry because he knows he's not playing well.
It's, you know what it looks like? It looks like it's over. Like, it looks like there's nothing there. For instance, if you want to know who the worst shooters right now in the league are, your worst shooters, Derek White shooting 35%, Morant is shooting 35%. So he doesn't even get to the point where you're looking at the 4 worst shooters in the league is where he's at. That's impossible. So when you're shooting that badly, you're going to have somebody call you Angel Reese.
Oh, boy, that ain't no good.
Now, for those of you that don't know, Angel Reese is the direct opposite of Caitlin Clark, both in the same draft class.
Yep.
Angel Reese, as she refers to herself as Black Barbie. And she is. She's a beautiful woman. She's also one of the people that demands, like, hey, when are we going to get paid like the men? It's like, well, that's not going to work.
Your league doesn't support it.
And it's also, she catches it on social media of how bad of a shooter she is.
And if you've seen, there's highlights of her where she can't make a layup.
She misses a lot of shots.
It's rough.
She catches a lot of her own rebounds. So with that context in mind, Draymond Green has a guy in the stands calling him Angel Reese. And Draymond Green decided during the game to walk over to the guy. Now, credit to the dude. He put his hands out like,
yeah. So I'm I want everybody to know.
I want everybody to know, if you hit me or you do anything,
it's not because I touched you. I didn't lay a finger on you.
And by the way, I'm allowed to yell anything I want at you. I bought the ticket.
Those floor seats are like $1,500 a piece.
What, was he cursing? No. Was he at any point saying anything that would be within earshot of other family members that would be offensive? No. He was calling him Angel Reese, like, hey, nice shot, Angel Reese. Of course, Draymond, he didn't care for being compared to one of the best female basketball players in the world. This is what Draymond had to say.
What happened in the second quarter with that fan?
He just kept calling me a woman. You know, it was a good joke at first, but you can't keep calling me a woman. So, you know, he got quiet though, so it was fine.
What did he say when you got over?
Well, he was talking at first, you know, and then he got a little closer, and he didn't really say much else. But, you know, it's fine. We move on.
He didn't have to say much else. He'd already done his talking.
I want you to understand that Draymond Green, when he was a rookie in the league, and this is not unusual, he didn't play a ton. He was, you know, averaging like playing 13 minutes a game. He was a 32% shooter from the field. That was in 2012, 2013.
Hold up, he's gone up and he's still that bad?
What I'm saying is that he has never shot as poorly in his career outside of being a rookie as he's doing this year.
Okay, that
you play ball like a girl.
He looks every bit, and this is what happens to guys when they're 35, 36 years old. He'll be 36 as we get into next year. He'll be 36 in March. There's no legs there anymore, and now you have people calling him a woman. And he got that hot about it, which to me, I thought we were progressive beyond this, right? Like, if you were calling me I was the Caitlin Clark of radio host shooters, I'd be like, I'm pretty impressed.
Shoot, yeah.
Thank you.
Maybe that's why Michelle Obama was saying that we're not ready for a woman president. She was referring to Draymond the whole time.
Oh, man, Draymond.
You're the reason.
It's unfortunate. Draymond.
What? And if he were smart, how many rings do he have? Being there with Golden.
3 of them at this point? Yeah. I mean, he's got one for every one of their. He is the power forward that if he gets in the Hall of Fame, it's going to be because of his overall contribution to the team. He's never been a great player, but for what they ask him to do, he fills that role.
Yeah, okay. He's still got 3 rings. Guess what the guy on the bench don't have? The guy sitting down on the floor. 3 rings.
I mean, he's got floor seats.
Yeah, he's got floor, which is great.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's great. No, I'm not saying
I'm sorry, he's got 4 titles, by the way.
So 4. You're talking a dude that's got 4 championships rings in the NBA. He's going to let a dude sitting in the front row that's paying to be there, not getting paid like Draymond, paying to be there, get under his skin.
He's 5 times all first-team NBA defense, 4 times all second-team NBA defense. So he's a great defensive player.
If you had 4 championship rings, would you let anybody get in your head like that? Because I wouldn't. I'd have nothing for you. You call me anything you want. I got 4 rings.
I can only think of one time when I got that upset. It's when I knew it was over.
As a baseball player?
Yeah. It's when I knew I was done. I knew the shoulder couldn't hold up anymore. Yeah. I knew I couldn't throw anymore. The only time I popped off and got that angry is when I knew it was done.
And maybe that's where he is.
That's probably where he is. Like, I'm shooting a career low 37% since I was a 21-year-old rookie.
What's he making this year?
Oh, I'm sure he's in the. I would be willing to guess he's a $15 million a year player.
$15 million, 4 rings, and he's letting a dude that's paying $1,500 a seat a night get under his skin. He's making $15 million a year. Who cares? I'd be like, call me.
I was wrong. It's 25.
So 20. I'd be like, dude, say it louder so the people in the back can hear you. That's what I would have said. Come on, say anything you want. You're paying to be here. I get paid to be here.
I just find it hard to believe that you would go up to a fan publicly and let him know that's where my goat is.
Yeah. You call me a girl.
You called me a girl.
Was that drop that Dre played? You play like a girl.
You called me a girl.
Oh,
Enough of that.
Goodness. Enough of that. So funny. God, Draymond Green, what a knucklehead. Complete knucklehead. A really rich knucklehead with $15 million or $25 million this year and 4 championship titles. How are you going to let anybody get you goat? All right, well, we appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for Los and Dre. I'm Tug. Y'all come back now, yeah?
If you love 106.3, then you'll love the all-new Extra 106.3 app. It's loaded with replays of your favorite shows like the Morning Xtra and the Kimmer Show, podcasts from conservative voices across the South, and access to Extra's crystal clear live stream from anywhere in Georgia. Grab it now for Apple or Android.